All right, everyone, we have yet another doozy of a chapter this week. We got Dragon helping Shanks' mom, Blackbeard being at God Valley, and the revelation that Rox is literally a descendant of Davy Jones, meaning that Blackbeard is as well, which has some serious wide-ranging implications. So to help me break this all down today, I brought in a very special guest, my guy Edenz Blue. And if you guys aren't familiar with Edenz, that's all right, because it's been about 4 years since he uploaded anything, but he's considering starting again soon, and hopefully you guys can convince him to do just that, because I talk to Edenz about One Piece all the time. We've had multiple multi-hour conversations on the phone over the last few weeks about what's going on, and then we've ended the call and just said, why didn't we, record this and let people hear it? Because, we were kind of cooking, you know what I mean? Edenz knows what he's talking about. So, so Edenz, welcome to the channel, man. I'm pumped to talk to you live, or not really live, but you know what I mean, for other people to listen to. So welcome, my friend.
Hey, thank you for having me, bro. I am honored to be, as of this recording, your newest guest on Redacted to talk about peak fiction, One Piece.
Absolutely, man, and it's a good time, right? I mean, we got God Valley going on at this point where we met Rox, we got all this stuff, so it's the right time. It's a good time for you to come back to the community as well, and I mean, you've always been in it, because see, Edenz and I have met at Anime NYC several times. Like we're friends at this point, you know, we met up,
yeah,
and so, but it's funny that you've been in the community, but with the creators, but not really making stuff for other people to hear. But Edenz got some ideas, guys. You guys are gonna like what he's got to say. So so why don't we just start with your kind of thoughts on the latest chapter and kind of where everything's going? How do you feel about it all? Do you like the latest reveals we've gotten? And do you think God Valley is gonna happen here in the next week or so, or maybe a couple chapters?
Oh man, so to answer that last one, 100%, I think we have to get the start of God Valley next chapter. I just don't see what else Oda can do in regards to this flashback to drag it out any more than the Rox Pirates not pulling up to God Valley, as of next chapter, because they already got past Herald. It was Oda fast forwarded past that fight. That when him and Harold were talking and we got the whole Davy clan reveal. Yep. But yeah, so I think it's we have to be there. I mean, whose perspective are we going to shift to? I doubt we're going to see Roger until Roger gets to God Valley at this point. But yeah, everything seems to be setting up for God Valley. We'll get into it, but we saw all the players and new additions being Dragon that are on the island now. And
it's crazy. I mentioned this in my reaction to the chapter, but we were already pumped about God Valley because we had, obviously all the Rox pirates showing up, all the Roger pirates, Garp, God's Knights. We knew there were 6 prizes that were devil fruits or whatever. But now Oda just made it even more insane by oh hey, guess what? Blackbeard's also there. Guess what? Dragon's also there. Guess what? There's actually 9 treasure chests now. I guess that's a retcon all of a sudden, which is really random. And guess what? Shanks was born there and his mom is gonna die. It's okay, you just dropped a lot on us real quick. But
didn't even give her a face.
I know, not yet at least. Maybe he won't. Maybe he never will, because he's he's pretty savage with moms and backstories. It's kind of sad. But I think the thing that probably everyone is talking about, the talk of the town right now, I think is the Davy situation, right? The Davy reveal. I feel like that's the big thing. I just want to get your thoughts on kind of who was Davy back in the day, because we heard he was a pirate, and we know Joy Boy's the first pirate, so that would tell me that Davy existed during the same time or after Joy Boy. So just kind of who do you think he was, or what's the story there?
Okay, so as of today in the year 2025, in the month of September, as of this recording, if I had to place my bets, I at the moment think that Joy Boy is Davy Jones. Because me personally, I don't think there's a guy running around with his actual name being Joy Boy. So it would, to me right now, it would make a lot of sense that it is Davy Jones, and it would fit with the whole thing that Vegapunk said about Joy Boy being the first pirate, because we have the Davy backfights, and it seems like that's something that's been in, I don't know the term for it, but I guess pirate tradition for a very long time, to where they're called the Davy backfights. And so it has me wondering if Joy Boy was the first pirate, then the definition of what a pirate is, someone who goes around taking what he wants. Maybe like, he came across people that he liked, similar to Luffy, and was like, yo, join me on this adventure that I'm on. I don't know. We don't even know if he called it a crew back then, but join me on this adventure that I'm on. And eventually, maybe like as time went on, because what I'm thinking about is Davy backfights. They actually started from Davy himself, like making bets with people, saying, okay, if I can do this, or if I can beat you in this competition, then you join me.
I like that. Yeah.
And eventually that somehow trickled down into history as being called Davy backfights, where people compete and take the other person's crew member.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. The Davy clan thing itself, it's like to not get long-winded about it. It sounds like this is like the most important family name that's tied to anything Void Century, First World, Second World related stuff. And they're getting the same treatment like the Buccaneers and other races where the world government's trying to wipe them out. And normally, from what I can remember with the Kuma flashback, they were wiping out the Buccaneers because they sided with seemingly Joy Boy's side, whereas the Davy clan, they're wiping them out like because they have the name Davy. They're a part of this specific clan. Like, it's not just like a race. It's like, oh, if you have this name, you're automatic like getting out of here. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I'm glad you are, because I agree. And I don't even remember if we talked about this before, but I've been asking a lot of people, like, do you think Davy is Joy Boy or not? And I almost want to do a poll now, but I usually wait till after the officials do those things, just so I don't, if I ask that question and somebody hasn't read it yet, they're gonna know something's up, so I'm gonna wait. But I want to ask people about that, because I feel like it's kind of 50-50 so far from the people I've talked to, where some want to say Davy is kind of like the opposite to Joy Boy, like being Joy Boy's Blackbeard, and then some just say that he is Joy Boy. And I think, both are definitely possible, but I think him being Joy Boy makes more sense, because it's just, he got propagandized. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, like you said with the Davy backfights, it's just whenever you have a game of telephone like that, like, think about Luffy right now. 99% of the One Piece world thinks Luffy's like a rampaging demon monkey guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a crazy pirate that's killing everybody and unstoppable, and if he shows up, you're cooked. Like, that's like they fear him. But everyone who actually knows him is like, nah, like he would never hurt anybody who doesn't deserve to be hurt. You know what I mean? Like, he's a good guy. He's gonna come help you. And I think it's the same thing with Davy Jones and Joy Boy. Like, they treat them like two different people, but it's probably the same original guy, because there's a nickname which is Joy Boy. And so everyone has heard of Davy Jones, because even people like in the world during the Void Century, like maybe before they got wiped out or whatever, they probably heard about Davy Jones sailing around and got scared of him. Like, oh wow, okay, he's terrifying, he's so strong, he went over here and overtook this country, which was probably a good thing, but they, the papers or whatever said it was bad. And so that's why there's probably a lot of stories of Davy Jones being the scary, powerful pirate who amassed all this treasure, which might be the One Piece. And then, but then Joy Boy is the one that we know because of the poneglyphs, because those are his people telling the right story, right? Like, don't let everyone lie about this. Like, no. Like, he's a good person saving the world, blah blah blah. And so I agree with all that, and I really like what you said about the Davy backfight, where they have a competition. Like, he's like, if I beat you in this, then you join me. Like, for sniping, like maybe like Usopp and Daddy Masterson kind of thing. Not that Daddy Masterson joined the crew, obviously, but something like that.
I like it.
That's great.
I like it though, because it can honestly be something like really stupid, or like from the perspective of like how important Davy backfights have become. It could be something like really stupid in like the original time when Davy himself was like making these competitions or doing these bets, where it's like, yo, all right, who can drink the most? Because we've seen that in chapters in the past with like Nami, where like as far back as like Whiskey Peak, when she's out drinking everybody, all these alcoholics, even Zoro, I think at one point. But it could be simple stuff like that, where like he's in a bar, like, I'll drink you, and if I win, then you got to do this for me. You join me, or something like that. There was another thing too, where so some people have lean towards Davy being like the Blackbeard, the Blackbeard to Joy Boy's Luffy, because they kind of feel like from what I've seen, they feel like the reveal of the Davy clan was it didn't have like an impact, which is putting some doubt in people's heads that he could be Joy Boy. And I understand that thought process, but the way I'm kind of looking at it is what Oda is going to do is when we finally get into the Joy Boy flashback, he's going to start it off by introducing him as Davy D. Jones. And we're going to follow him in the flashback, and then we're going to see him commit some kind of act where he helps somebody or does something that brings them a laugh, but he doesn't give them his name. He just kind of like leaves before they have a chance to like find out who he is. And that ends up building the legend of Joy Boy in Davy's time. That's kind of like where my head is at for that right now.
No, I like it. And I think you said this earlier, but I mean, his name being Davy Jones, it's like there's not somebody out there who's literally named Joy Boy. Like the name had to come from somewhere. And if his name is Davy D. Jones or just Davy Jones, that would technically mean that Jones is his first name, right? Like everyone's going to call him Jones then, assuming it's literally like in that order, Davy Jones. Like they don't say Jones Davy to make it, you know what I mean? Like to fit English convention. Then if that means Jones is actually his first name, then that really means that Jones could become Joy Boy because they both start with J-O. You know what I mean? It's like,
I can see that.
I pushed the agenda for a long time that there was probably an Ivankov type person, which, by the way, the stocks for this idea went way up because Ivankov is like central to God Valley at this point. Because like we knew that Ivankov was always like relevant because we already saw that before. But in this chapter, Ivankov was cooking in this chapter, like getting everybody hyped in that ship. Like I got a lot of like I've always liked Ivankov, but I got even more respect now for like Ivankov was crazy. But but you know how Ivankov calls Luffy Mugiwara boy, like throws boy at the end. I'm thinking there was Jones Boy, and it just got shortened to Joy Boy somehow, and then that's how it all started.
It would be really hilarious that in like whenever we do get like the flashback showing Davy Jones, that like it's also this person with like a really big head. It's like an ancestor to Ivankov that talks in the very same way. I think that would be pretty funny for Oda to do that.
I think there's going to be a lot of parallels like that. Like, I mean, Oda won't make it a carbon copy because that would just get kind of boring. But I do think, like, because for instance, I don't know if there's going to be someone like related to Ivankov who did it, but there will definitely, like you said, someone with a big head. So we're like, oh wow, that's definitely like the Ivankov of back in the day. And maybe they'll even say like, well, let's make a miracle happen. And because Ivankov always brings up miracles, it's like, okay, like even if they're not related, like it's the will. Like that's always what matters is the will. And that's actually something else I wanted to bring up in regards to this Davy kind of situation. I like the idea that, you know, Davy Jones and Joy Boy are the same person, but the legends of him are being taken in two different ways, because that would kind of make Blackbeard like the Ace to Joy Boy, sort of. Like, you know how Roger had Ace, but Ace didn't really carry his will. Like he was a somewhat similar person. Like Ace was a good person, but he didn't go out to go be Pirate King himself, or he did originally, but then he gave up on that, which like Roger would never do, Luffy would never do, but Ace did, right? So he's different than Roger. But Luffy inherited Roger's will and is just like him, right? So you would almost think Luffy would fit more to be his son because he's a lot like him, but they're different. And so that the story of that is like, there's no guarantee that your kid's going to be just like you. It's about inheriting the will if you want someone to carry out what you were trying to do. So I would like it if Blackbeard is the descendant of Joy Boy, because that's the same story where he's not actually being like Joy Boy. But Luffy is, because of just inherited will, which is like, you know, the central part of the story. So it's like Blackbeard's taking the wrong message, even though he's related to him, and doing something different. And Luffy's actually accomplishing the right thing. And so that's kind of the story of like the two, you know, ways of Davy. And remember how they said like Rox was a Davy Jonesian pirate, or someone who revered Davy Jones in like whenever he met Emu.
Yeah. I remember.
It's like that. I even said this in my review for that chapter, but it reminded me of the Morganeer and Peacemain thing. You know, there's two kinds of pirates, like the good ones and the bad ones, basically. And it made me think that like you're either a Davy Jonesian version where you're taking those legends and being selfish and amassing all your wealth, or you're like the Joy Boy version. Like, even if it's the same guy, it's like, are you going to take after the legends where he's amassing wealth, or are you going to take after the legends where he's helping people, right? It's like, which version of him do you really believe in? And so yeah, I don't know, I think that's another cool way to kind of bring back the whole Ace parallel, because obviously there's a lot of that going on. And also, one other thing is Always Sunny in Endy's Lobby. You mentioned this to me. Wish I had a picture of it, but he was the first one to mention this. I don't know if everybody else has noticed it, but God Valley has somewhat of like a Western theme to it, like the buildings and stuff. And the place where Ace and Blackbeard fought was like a Western town. And so...
Oh, true.
Right, Bonaro Island. So you can kind of see here, there's like the buildings to like the left of the podium and to the right. You can kind of see there's like other shots throughout the chapter, but it looks kind of like a Western town.
Oh yeah, and I never noticed that detail. That's actually interesting.
It is in the West Blue, so I'm trying to see if there's more shots of it in this chapter. A little bit. It's
kind of interesting how because God Valley, it's like we've known it's been something very important for a while now, but like as of this recent chapter, we're like really getting like how vast this, like how important this really is now, where it's done so many things that has put so many characters on like the paths that they would eventually be. Like, we, you know, I don't want to what's the phrase, jump ahead, or I forgot the phrase, it escapes me right now, but I don't want to like get too far ahead of like, you know, where we're already discussing, but
God
Valley is kind of
maybe
jump the gun. Thank you. Jump the gun. Yeah, no, God Valley, it's like, to me, there is right now 3 important moments in One Piece that have changed the world in terms of like the modern time in One Piece, like not counting Void Century or Second World, First World, or nothing like that. Like in terms of like what we have been able to read so far, it's been Roger's Execution, Marineford, and now God Valley. Yeah. Each of these things that have like impacted several characters, or where there have been all of these different parties at one time that shifted the way like everybody in the world moves. You know, Roger, obviously the great pirate age. You have all these characters there, all the warlords, Dragon, stuff like that. Marineford, the warlords, Whitebeard pirates, Blackbeard, Luffy, all these other future big names. Law and to a much lesser extent, Kid, who was observing the stuff. The Shanks, Yonko, and all that stuff going on, you know, that changed the world. That re-sparked the Great Pirate Age. And then now, you know, we got God Valley, where it's like nothing confirmed yet, but we see stuff like, okay, Blackbeard was here as a kid. Now we can kind of get the idea of what set him on his dark path. Shanks was here as a kid. Seemingly Dragon might have been the one that put Shanks in the chest in order to save him. So it's like all of these different actions have also impacted the world just in a different way. And now we're seeing that with God Valley.
Yeah, no, 100%, dude. I think I was even texting you about this. Like, I was debating doing a main channel video as well, which I'm not going to do, by the way. It's just the next chapter's coming too quick. There's too many big things happening. It's like I'm not going to waste the time. But one of the ideas I told you is like I might just do a video about God Valley connects literally everything, because like you were just saying, like it's like an inflection point in the history of the world where all these people that went on to make the world into what it is currently in One Piece, right? Where Dragon's leading the Revs, we got multiple Yonko here, Garling just became a Gorosei, you know, we got all these top tier, got Roger became Pirate King, like this, it's impossible to comprehend like all the goats literally that formed in this one instance. It's like, it almost reminds me of like if there was like a high school basketball team that ended up having like 7 NBA players on it or something, and then like they go to like have it play a championship. It's insane, the butterfly effect of God Valley. That's really what it is. But you know, I think we should hone in on something here that you mentioned, which was Dragon potentially putting Shanks in the chest or saving Shanks, which I think I agree with. But before we get to that, let's talk about these treasure chests, because as I mentioned, there's 9 now, which there was 6 before. And I feel like it's just a retcon. Either way, there's more chests. Whatever the situation is, however we got from 9 to 6, we got 9 to worry about now. And so...
Yeah.
So, are you thinking Dragon got his fruit from one of them? That's a popular theory I've heard thrown around. And then maybe he took the fruit out of it and put Shanks in it, and that's how it all happened.
Oh man, that's so funny that that's the first one you go to, because as soon as I saw the 9 chests, I immediately like obviously it could be as simple as a retcon. I'm like, all right, most realistic idea that popped in my head was Oda thought like having the layout look like that just looked a lot nicer. It looked more.
It does
more fancy instead of just having them all like lined up in 2 rows. But that's no fun. Yeah. I'm very much, that was like one of my first thoughts that came to my head about, oh, maybe this is how we find out Dragon got his fruit. We don't really know when he got it. It's not even confirmed if he has it, but it's very likely he has one. Mm-hmm. But when I saw the additional chest, I was thinking to myself that, okay, maybe one of those fruits were in there, and Jenny and Kuma, they only had the intel of the Kaido's fruit and the one Kuma would eventually go on to get. Maybe Oda wanted to kind of like speed up the process a little bit with the story by not like, because maybe he had something, if Dragon's fruit is in one of those chests, maybe Oda had something for it planned, like for something else entirely, but he was just like, okay, if I'm gonna throw Dragon in here too, then this could be the start of Dragon getting like his first bit of power. Since this is going to be the moment where, and I think you agree with me on this is going to be the moment where Dragon had said to I believe Vegapunk during the Kuma flashback that I left the Marines because I found no justice there.
Yeah, he told Kuma that right after he like picked him up, like right after Kuma joined, I think.
Yeah, it was Kuma or Vegapunk. I couldn't remember who, but yeah, that line. It was Kuma? Okay.
Because he was talking about weapons in the Marines, and then Kuma's like, wait, you were in the Marines? He's like, yeah, but I found no justice there, I believe.
Yeah. I think this is the moment where like he's had enough. And he probably wasn't even with him for very long, but this was the moment, enough of a moment where he was like, okay, I don't like how they do things.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I'm so happy Dragon's here for that reason, because we've all been waiting for Dragon to finally make a move, and it's funny that his first move is 38 years ago, like a flashback. Like he's still not in current time, doing anything, at least confirmed. People, think he might be in the Holy Land. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Dragon being here. I agree with you that at some point during this, he's going to be like, this is not what I signed up for. Like, Dad, he's probably going to go over to Garp and be like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, genuinely, what the hell?
So you are on the boat, right? That he's Garp's biological son.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, I am too. I just know some people still speculate on that.
Maybe Oda can work some Oda magic and not have that happen, but I feel like that's definitely where it's going. But yeah, I think it's really cool that he's here. Did you hear the theories? Or I don't even know if they're really theories, because I don't know what to make of it. But that like how Dragon looks kind of like Gear 4 Snake Man Luffy, or like kind of like Gear 4 in general.
I have seen that.
Yeah. Because he has like the dark rings around his eyes.
Mm-hmm. I have seen that. I'm like, all right, cool. There goes some fight now about him looking somewhat like Luffy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know. Is it just eyeliner? That I don't know what it is, but it is kind of cool.
He just seems like a guy that takes life too serious. Like he looks like someone who's always taking life just very serious, and maybe that just kind of like affected the eyes. Because, I would say, he's the son of Garp. He probably felt like he always had a lot to live up to.
What if he like wasn't sleeping because after he joined the Marines, it's just like it was so bad. You know what I mean? Like he was having a hard time sleeping because like the bad stuff he had to do to people, and he's like, bro, this is not. That'd be kind of cool. That's it. They're like bags.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like bags under his eyes, actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But next, I wanna hone in on. Well, actually, let's finish talking about the fruits first, because one thing that I've had a lot of people message me. Because I did a video on the 6 fruits, and I think clearly what happened is Oda watched my video and then I guessed them all, and he's like, well, I can't let him get all the fruits right, so then he's like, I'm just going to increase the number of fruits. I feel like 4 of them are still going to be the ones I picked, which were the Shadow, the Love, the Flame, and the Op fruit. But now we got 3 more. So, like, what do you have any agendas on what fruits you think are going to be here? We already talked about dragon's fruit. But even if you disagree with mine, we have so many to talk about. Just what fruits? Because like the God's Knight's fruits, I think Killingham's could definitely be here.
Good call. Good call.
We know Summers is here now, so his thorn fruit, which I gotta say, that is a lame ass power. If you're gonna go have a genocide tournament and you get that thorn from, like, that's Killingham's fruit, making your dreams into reality. That's worth having as a prize. Being a thorn man, I mean, you can do better than that.
So here's the thing, right? I didn't consider the idea of every chest having a devil fruit, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, they have to be. I'm like, what else could they be? Because like, it can't just be gold. Because these are celestial dragons. You're trying to like make it interesting to like what's gold to a celestial dragon? Like, why fight so hard? So that's not really a prize. In my mind, that's not a prize to a celestial dragon. So it's like, it would have to be something interesting. So it's like, yeah, so what if they are all devil fruits? Because I mean, like,
in this chapter, they say, we now present the grand prize of the tournament beyond all the rare devil fruits up for grabs. And the grand prize is Shacky. So they say the rare devil fruits up for grabs. So I think and we know that 2 of them already were. So I think that's definitely telling us they're all devil fruits.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm with you on that. Because I was definitely on the idea of Dragon getting his fruit here.
Ivankov?
It's so weird, but Ivankov. That's. I had to go back and revisit the Kuma flashback, but I'm not against that idea. Oh, that's so tough, right? Because it's like Oda added 3 more chests. We already had 3 to figure out. Now there's 3 more.
I almost want to pull up my like documents from that video because I had like, I picked 4 main ones and I had like 7 maybes, and I really thought about this and I can't remember what all the maybes were. And also my file explorer is not working, so this happens all the time. I don't know why, but my file explorer will stop working, so I can't look up files on my computer. So I know one of them was the sand fruit. I remember that. One of them was crocodile's fruit.
I'm kind of thinking, so I don't know if you said this just now, but I'm kind of thinking, what if one of them was the Cerberus fruit that Shamrock uses for his sword?
If that's a fruit, yes. I don't think it is. If it's a fruit. I don't think it is personally, because Funkfried jumped out of Spandam's hand and transformed, as where Shamrock just lifted up the sword and like black magic came out of the sword, and I'm like, that's a new, and maybe it's just because it's a mythical, maybe it's because it's awakened, I don't know, but it did not look the same, and it also didn't say devil fruit, it just said Cerberus, like the Gorosei kind of. So
yeah, dude, that's so tough. Like, I didn't even consider this because I'm like, some of them would have to be devil fruits that we've come across before.
100%. Marco's is a good one. That's one that I've heard people mention a bunch. I like that. A lot of people said Whitebeards. Can't be Whitebeards because we already saw Whitebeard use the Quake fruit a couple chapters ago. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, like, one of the admirals, but I kind of doubt that right now because I feel like I'd have to go back and do like the math, but maybe Kizaru's like 59, but I think he might already have his fruit right here. But I'm like, the only way I would think, like, unless we get another big reveal that Akainu was here on God Valley too,
which is possible.
Which is possible, and he stumbled across the fruit by chance, and now he has the magma fruit. I think that would be really cool. I think because people connect Dragon and Akainu a lot, so I think it would be really cool to see like some kind of moment if there was a connection between them here at God Valley. Like, we just get some kind of hint that they're both like new recruits here in the Marines. Like, this is like their first like super big mission, and it kind of has already been absolute justice. We know that, but it kind of really sends them on 2 different paths now, where one is like determined to be fleet admiral, the other leader of against the Marines and world government and whatnot. So I'm gonna say Akainu just for fun. It sounds fun. I like the idea of it.
Yeah, and it's strong enough and like rare enough probably to be worth being here. You know what I mean? Like to be one of the prizes. But about Akainu real quick, I just wanted to say, earlier you mentioned how, like, we're going to figure out why Dragon said there's no justice in the Marines or whatever. And I hope what happens is that him and Akainu are both here and see the same thing, but they see it differently. Where, like, maybe somebody gets killed. Like, Dragon sees it as a wrong thing. Like, that's bad that this person died. Akainu's like, thank God this person died, like, because they were threatening us, whatever. And so then they both go on opposite paths completely from that same thing. I think that would be really powerful. And that would explain why, like, they're, you know, such, like, seem to be, like, opposing people, like, because they're the same age, right? So it seems like Oda has them on a crash course for, you know, some fight or discussion or something.
I think in Akainu's case, like, if that scenario were to happen, I think in Akainu's case, in Dragon's case, he sees it as like, yo, why are we doing this to innocent civilians? Like, we don't have to do this. Whereas, like, Akainu has the position of where, in his eyes, he views it's necessary. And that could just stem from, like, even further back with them, with their backgrounds, where it's like, you know, Oda has that art of Akainu as a kid. He looks like he's from a lawless island that didn't have the protection of the Marines, or if they did very little of it. He looks like a very pirate ravaged place that he's from. Like, he looked like he had a rough upbringing, and so that kind of led him into the mindset of this is necessary, because maybe in his past, he was kind of he probably would have had more like the Dragon mindset about, we don't have to do this. But now he's like, okay, no, if it gets the job done, then, you know, willing to get hands dirty. Right. And, you know, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's probably how he justifies it in his mind.
Yeah, because you think back to Ohara, remember how Akainu, like, ordered the hit on, like, the evacuation ship and, like, didn't care that all those people died. And then then Saturn told the government to do this, or, like, the Marines to do the same thing to the Egghead evacuation ship, and they failed to do so, but it was the same idea. Like, hey, we can't let people escape who know anything about this, even if they're innocent in general, and maybe if they can't read the poneglyphs in the case of Ohara, or even in Egghead, because both were the same thing. Then it's like we can't even risk it. Like, there's not even we can't. And so it might be the same thing where Dragon's like, wait, that person had nothing to do with this, and Akainu's like, hey, well, that person who died could have potentially come back to hurt us, you know. So then they and maybe it's like a little kid or something, so it's like very obvious how bad, but because that would be kind of like Robin, I guess. Like, maybe it's the same thing where Dragon sees a Robin equivalent, like maybe like a Davy person, like Teach's cousin or something. Probably like a little girl, and maybe Teach has an older sister. There was that art from Oda where he had like two sisters or whatever. Maybe one of them gets killed, and that's the difference maker. Where Dragon's like, nah, that's bad.
Oh, you know? Dude, I just had a crazy idea while you were explaining this. I just had a crazy idea, right? Maybe not as crazy. Maybe I just really like it. But so the part I was saying about like God Valley, where Akainu views one thing and Dragon views it in a different way. I'm kind of starting to think now, like, what if they both have a similar mindset here at God Valley, where they both view it as, yo, this isn't right, but maybe God Valley is where Akainu gets the mindset of, okay, anything is necessary if it gets the job done now. Maybe, like, because, you know, it's this big event. Maybe these people are dying, and then maybe because we know a bunch of pirates escape. We know everybody not named Rocks gets off this island. And maybe Akainu sees a situation, and I'm just having fun, like off the top of my head thinking about this now. Maybe Akainu sees something where it's like, okay, there's pirates escaping, but maybe there's civilians involved, and if I take this shot, it's gonna kill all these civilians, and then maybe Akainu regrets it because it lets all these pirates go off into the world and do these, you know, alleged horrible things. And maybe he just kind of like regrets what he didn't do at God Valley, where he's like, I should have took the shot. And then fast forward to Ohara, where it's like, nah, can't take the risk now. I don't know. That's one idea that just like popped in my head as you were explaining that.
That's interesting, and I wonder, like, going back to the Davy of it all, I'm starting to wonder, maybe the reason Akainu hates pirates so much is maybe like someone in his family or something was killed by like a Davy member or something, And so then just going back to what you're talking about, where like the pirates leave, or even the Davy family, either or, because he might hate all of them. Because I mean, if you're a Davy family member, you're probably a pirate in their eyes. It's like you're related to the worst one, so you're probably even worse than a pirate at that point. So maybe it's kind of the same thing where like it's some of those Davy family members or something that are leaving, and he like decides not to shoot because they're, you know, like little kids or whatever, and then maybe maybe because there's pirates there, he didn't want to endanger the little kids, and he comes back later and I don't know, you know, like regrets it in some way. I don't know if that could be like if it's the Davy family stuff, he might regret not taking them all out because maybe Teach is one of them, and then later Teach ends up, you know, mattering as much as he does. He's like, damn, I should have just killed you back then. I didn't think, you know, I was too nice.
Dude, there's so many possibilities. I love it. There's so many possibilities. Like I really need to see Akainu on God Valley now. It's like so many people are here. Why not Akainu? Why not? You're one of the final in-game people that we're building up to. Why not you be here too? Because I mean, you and Dragon are the same age, so it's like why not?
Yeah,
I kind of need it to happen now. I kind of need it to happen.
Well, because, you know, it's funny because we also make memes about Dragon and Akainu that are the same memes, the desk memes. You know what I mean? They're both doing them. And the ... like, and I'm like, okay, Oda is like, even beyond our jokes and everything. Like, Oda is very, very, very clearly showing us that they are. I don't know if they're parallels, inversions, whatever word you want to use. They are. There's something going on with those two, right? And I think Oda, if he's going to wait this long for Dragon, it would only make sense to start giving us Akainu at the same time, in my mind. Like, because their stories probably connect. So, like, why not develop both of them at once? And I think it would make sense that we didn't see Akainu in this chapter, but maybe we'll see him in the next one. Just because this chapter was already so jam-packed with stuff. It's like I don't even know where you would fit it in, because like this one's obviously mainly about, you know, the Davy stuff, the Blackbeard of it, and Dragon a little bit too, which matters. But maybe we'll get Akainu in the next one. I don't know. I agree.
I'm hoping so.
I really want Akainu.
Theoretically, like there's got to be hundreds of Marines on this island to protect all these celestial dragons. Like in theory, like they're not going to be unprotected. And now you got like rocks and them all pulling up. So I think the potential is there for Akainu. We just have to see it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I want to get back to the God Valley fruits for a little bit. And because I just pulled up my video just so I could look at the ones that I listed. A good one could be Bonnie's fruit. Is one of them, because remember the government had it, and then they gave the extract or whatever to Ginny, or that ended up going to Bonnie. However that worked, but they had the fruit originally, and I wonder if it was there and they use it for all these experiments, because it's so useful. Like, it is so powerful in its own way. Oh,
that's a good one. Oh man, I'm trying to think, like, because at first I almost said Buggy. But then I remembered that we saw Buggy's like backstory in the beginning of the story about him having the fruit already.
Yeah, well, he found it, or they found it at some point, right? The Roger Pirate.
Yeah,
he did. He found it. He did, because
he found it and he kept it secret. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was gonna sell it and hid it in his mouth and accidentally ate it, and then
Yeah.
I mean, it could be his. It's just like I always try to think of ones that have a more direct connection, like. Was the person there at the island who does have a fruit, because then maybe they got it there, or did the government get it, because those are the easiest? Or like for Ace's fruit, which was one of mine, it's like that was found in a treasure chest in the Ace novel. So I'm like, what if that treasure chest just literally came from God Valley? And that's, I
got one. Right. I'm not sure if you said it. What about Katakuris? Because Big Mom did mention that I could probably use these fruits for my kids, and she got the Kaido's fruit. We know she eventually gives it up to Kaido when they're probably making their great escape, because I assume like their ship got destroyed, or a ship got destroyed, and they probably had to hijack one. Kaido probably got the fish fruit to fly away, but Big Mom probably didn't leave empty-handed. She probably got lucky and stumbled across something, which could have been at least one fruit, which was Katakuri's at the very least.
Yeah, because something I brought up in my video is that I think the way these fruits are going to work is that like they all go to different factions. Now that there's 9, there might be a couple that go to the same faction. But like I was thinking like one probably should go to the government, one should go to former Rocks pirates, one, goes to Kumo, which maybe counts as the revolutionaries, one goes to maybe like Moria, who maybe is from there. Like I was just kind of reasoning like there's probably going to, like Oda's not going to ship them all out to the same group. He's definitely going to make them disseminate throughout the world differently. But now that we have 9, well 7 because we know where 2 of them go, I think Big Mom definitely could have the mochi fruit. It's just if she gets any more than that, because she did say kids plural, it's like I don't like Oven's fruit. It's like that better not be there. Like that's not good enough.
I only say Katakuri since he's like the standout from that crew that everybody likes.
And it's a special paramecia. It's the only one we've seen in the story, so that's like it gives it a reason to be like a level up. And maybe one of the celestial dragons would want to give it to a slave so they can make unlimited mochi. You know what I'm saying? So they can eat. Like it's stuff like that. Because you want to think about it that way too. Like what fruits would they potentially want? Like for killing hams, right? That's one that I'm like that they can make their dreams reality. That sounds like a celestial dragon thing. Like because all they want is whatever they want in the moment, right? They are just like terrible people. So his makes sense.
I got another one. Another one that popped in my head.
All right.
Boa and her sister's fruits.
Yeah, Boa's is the most guaranteed for me. It's like because
we know they all got their fruits while they were slaves in Marijois. So but we don't know like how or when those fruits were acquired. So I could see something like a family was holding on to those fruits after God Valley, and we're just holding on to them for some period of time until they felt like was the right time to use them, and then Bo and them ended up coming along.
Yep.
So I like the idea of Bo's fruit. I feel like they have to all be, if they are all fruits, they all have to be something of importance to where they're related to some character of relevance.
What about the Yami Yami?
I did think about the Yami. I did think about that one. I'm like half and half with that one. I want to think it's the Yami so bad, but like, it's like, where would it go? Does it sink into the ocean and it finds its way to the Whitebeard crew one day when Blackbeard takes it from Thatch? I did consider the Yami at one point because I'm wondering if like, did a young Teach see the fruit and already know what it was at the time, or did he see it and then learn about it later in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia?
Wait, what if Teach, and this is something else we got to talk about. What if Teach finds out, or he probably already knows that Rox is his dad, right? Because it says Rox moved him to God Valley, so he knows that's his dad. Yeah. So what if 100%. So what if the Yami is one of them and he sees it in one of the chests and Rox is like, wait, that's the fruit I've been looking for. I need that for whatever. And so Teach like bakes it into his mind like, okay, that's the power my dad. Important. Yeah, like I need that. My dad was looking for that one. He was seeking it out, and maybe he knew the reason. Maybe his dad told him. Like maybe his dad was like, hey, Teach, if I'm able to get these 2 fruits, we're gonna control the world. Because with the Yami, I'll be able to do this, and with the other one, maybe the Nika fruit or the Elbaf fruit, whatever it is, I'll be able to do this, and no one will ever be able to stop me. And it's like, and so he knew from that point, like, okay, like, but he was really young, so like he was only 2, so I don't know how well he's gonna remember that. Maybe his mom helps him. Maybe like there's a note that he kept with him. Like, I mean, he's 2, so it's like really, really, because that's like, it's like toddler age. Like I like he's not gonna remember, but with that much trauma that early in your life, you're probably going to bake some stuff in your mind.
Great memory.
I mean? Yeah. So
I think he has a great memory.
So like whether he remembers or not, I think Oda will find a way to just, I just think that could make sense where that's where he connects the idea. Like, okay, Yami, like my dad wanted it. My dad was a boss. I got to go do this.
So I guess where I'm at with it is so it's so tough, right? So it's like I'd like to think, and I'm hoping Oda does give us something where when he sees Blackbeard, or I mean I guess like in this case Kid Teach, when he's fleeing and escaping for his life, he's also seeing obviously all the chaos that's going on God Valley as he's trying to escape. Like one of the things he sees, for instance, is Whitebeard's fruit in action, which motivates him to eventually come across Whitebeard in the future and join his crew, because he's seen firsthand how powerful Whitebeard is. And then, obviously as the years go on, he gets the idea of, I need that fruit.
Yeah.
And he clearly said he needs the Yami first, and then everything else comes after, like getting Whitebeard's fruit and all that. But I'm wondering if it's a scenario where he saw the Yami, and then for whatever reason, like, I don't know, like say like, Whitebeard is doing like an eruption or something, the ground is unstable, I don't know, chaos is going on and he can't get to the fruit, and then it ends up going missing. But that motivates him enough down the line where he's so hell-bent on finding this fruit, because he saw it he actually like witnessed it with his own eyes, instead of just relying solely on luck about, oh well, hopefully one day I find it. But where it's like he saw it, and now again, he read the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. We don't know. I don't think we know if there's pictures in there or not of fruits, but he read the book at least, and so maybe like he saw the fruit in person as a kid and was like, if only I had that, maybe things would have been different. And
for sure,
obviously eventually finds it. We know that whole thing about devil fruits and dreams and stuff like that, and like them finding their way to certain users and stuff like that. So that's just something to think of for fun. I think it could fit into the story of God Valley.
Yeah, no, it is cool that, because like he mentioned the encyclopedia, so like maybe he does see the fruits in the chest, and so then that's why he goes to the encyclopedias. He's like, all right, where's that one that I saw my dad going for, right? Like where is it? Like I couldn't get it that day for whatever reason, maybe because there's earthquakes, and then he looks it up. I think that's actually really cool. That would really tie it all together, actually.
Because Oda said one of his hobbies was like studying history, right?
Yep. Archaeology and studying history. Like he would be an archaeologist in real life if he wasn't a pirate.
Okay, because I think he already, just from the little that we know, you can come up with him already having the motivation to studying history a lot, just off of him knowing about the Davy clan.
Yep.
And him wanting to secretly do research on the Davy clan about like, what does that mean? What did Rox tell him about the Davy clan? Because I'm sure if Rox mentioned it to him, he clearly told him, don't go around mentioning this to people.
Right.
And then got curious, and then that's what led to him getting so involved in history.
Yeah, and that actually is something I wanted to mention, was like, so you know how in this chapter, I'm gonna actually switch over. By the way, I love your Space Jam cup. Space Jam is my favorite movie of all time.
Thank you.
Space Jam is my favorite movie, followed by Dodgeball. I love my like meme sports movies. But in this chapter, so we saw Teach here, like it looks like in jail, like he's locked up, he's roughed up, he's got these cuffs on. Going back to the idea that like Rox probably told Teach to protect his name, it's like if he's locked up because he's one of the special rabbits or whatever, right? He's one of the did they give a number? They just said several special rare rabbits. So, like, if they know that he is one of them because he's a member of the Davy family, well, like, then that means that they would have had to reveal it somehow. And so that means that he wasn't keeping it a secret, which I feel like is kind of silly for them to do. But I don't know.
Are you on the boat that the entirety of God Valley are Davy clan, or there's just, like, a select few?
Yeah, see, that's another thing that I have a hard time reconciling to. Like, it would make a lot more sense. It doesn't have to be every single one, but it would make a lot more sense if it's like a good chunk of them, like not just a really small, group. But I could also see it being a really small group, because like if you think about like the Buccaneers, like that was just like one person really on Sorbet the whole time. And so I'm wondering if like the Davy clan could be a similar situation, where it's like just a couple of them had come over here, maybe like kind of similar reason to Rox, maybe like they were hunted everywhere else and they just found refuge here, so there's just like a couple of them. But I could also see the opposite, where most of them are. Like, personally, I would love if Shanks' mom is a Davy member.
100%. 100%.
Him and Teach are cousins. Like, come on, bro.
So there's something I wanted to like bring up with that, right? It's so clear to me that there's something special about Shanks's blood, not counting the celestial dragon side. But it has to be at this point something also special on like the mom side, where because Oda has gone out his way from the very beginning to point out Shanks's red hair that's not just normal. Like he is like he is like one of a kind. You know, they literally call him Red Hair Shanks because you don't see nobody running around with red hair. Like, yeah, of course, like Kid exists, but it's clearly not the same type of red to where they're not calling him Red Hair Kid. But like Shanks is like red hair is so distinct. And so it's like, have you, okay, I'm not going to say spoilers for anyone like no major spoilers for anyone like that might be like watching or don't know about it. But do you know anything about Naruto?
Yeah, I know a lot of it. Yeah.
Okay,
I've watched the whole thing, but like,
okay, all right, cool.
If you were to quiz me on it, I'm probably getting like a 50%, but like you're not going to spoil me though.
Okay, cool. Okay, so you know what I'm about to get into when I say this then. So in Naruto, the main character, his last name is Uzumaki. But then at some point down the line, we find out about the Uzumaki clan where their distinct trait is they have red hair. Naruto doesn't because his dad was a blonde, but his mom had red hair. And the special thing about like their clan was they had like a large like pool of like chakra, like a large reserve of it, more than like the normal person does. And that's kind of like one of the things that made their clan so special. And it's like, in this case, I'm wondering, and I don't know if red hair symbolizes something in Japanese culture or like mythology or something like that. But Oda's going out his way to make this character with red hair be very distinct and stand very, very far and separate from so many people in the story. There's people to the point where, it's speculated that Shanks is like the best hockey user in the story. Hockey is all about willpower and stuff. And it's gone out of its way, like in this last chapter, and the chapter prior, where when Shamrock and Shanks were shown as babies, somebody in God Valley made a point to go point out that, oh yeah, they have your pretty red hair just like you. And now we're getting all this stuff with the Davy clan, and it's like, okay, is there more to this red hair thing? Because this is even like a rarity, even when Shanks was a baby, like his mom having red hair, that maybe there was something special in it. Why did Garling choose her? What did Garling find at God Valley that said, oh, Emu will be very interested in this. Let's make God Valley the next hunting festival spot. So yeah, it's so many ideas right now, but it just really got me wondering about, is there something special about the red hair people? Like, is that going to be like a special race or something, a special bloodline?
And I love that. And one thing that I thought of in the midst of you talking about that is like, I was wondering how Garling even like found out that there were Davy lineage members there. You know what I mean? Like, how did he even like, who told him that? Like, somebody had to like trust him enough to reveal that or something, or assuming they know it's dangerous. Like, maybe there's people who don't know that they're supposed to keep it hidden. But like, you look at like Law, who was taught from a young age to like save the water, the D water, part of his name.
Yeah.
So I think they would know. Like, I bet you Teach is gonna know at like 2 years old. So I think they don't share it with just anybody. So I wonder if Garling went and met this girl, like Shanks's mom, and and then maybe like after, I don't know if I would say they were dating. That sounds very weird, but they probably met and hung out for a couple days, or like remember how Shanks would hang out in Fuchsia Village for like a couple weeks at a time or months at a time. It was probably like a couple weeks or whatever. And maybe after they were hanging out for a while, I don't know if she'd already be pregnant by this point or whatever, but maybe they were getting really close, and that's when she's like, well, by the way, like, I'm going to tell you a secret about me. Like, my family is actually the Davy family. Maybe she had no idea that Garling was, like, that he was going to start hunting them down because of it. And so maybe that's how he figured it out. And then going back to your red hair thing, it could be that, like, he wouldn't have known back then that, like, the red hair is, like, a symbol of it or anything. Because, like, now it's probably obvious to them, if this is actually true, that, like, if Shanks' mom is one, maybe Teach's mom also has red hair. Maybe Shanks' mom and Teach's mom are just sisters. I think that'd be kind of
true.
Cool.
I didn't think about Teach's mom having red hair. I didn't think about that because he clearly could have gotten the black hair from rocks.
Yeah, well, and another thing,
okay.
Another thing, just going, well, I guess I'll start here first. So for Rocks, like, we don't know what his hair color is yet. And a lot of people go black and white because that's just what it is in the manga. But I think black and red is a really good bet because, like Oda, if you look at Kid's hair, he colors it white. He doesn't color it shaded in like Shanks's.
Right.
So he's kind of inconsistent with the red coloring. So I think it could be red, and then that would tell us right there that the red is definitely a Davy thing. And then I really would start wondering if Kid is a Davy pirate also. I think that would be, like, I would say
just
almost
a lot more diluted blood compared to like Shanks or something like that, since it's not like the perfect red, like that exact shade of red.
Yeah, I mean, well, because Shanks is like, I guess they did say like they have your red hair, but I think like I think it's close enough to where it could be like, maybe somebody who it's like slightly changed because of somebody had blonde hair or something, but I don't know. But either way, I think that would make a lot of sense. And yeah, so again, for Garling, I think now he understands that the red hair is the sign of like the Davy members or whatever. But he probably didn't know that back then because like they said, it's the first time in 800 years they've uncovered members of the Davy family. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what was this like just happenstance that Garling, like, I hesitate to say fall in love, but Garling met this girl and had Shanks, or like were they searching for Davy family members? You know what I mean? Like, was that like a task that they knew that they were out there and they were trying to find them? And like, did he start this relationship all in the hopes that she would reveal it because they had a hunch, or like, or because like he just cut her down in this chapter, bro, which was savage.
Yeah.
Like that, which made me so sad. And I know they're heartless or whatever, but what if it was all like a ploy from the start? Because they just had a hunch they were around here somewhere. Maybe they saw Rox visit here a couple times or something, and they're like, oh, okay, like something's going on. And then maybe so he got close with her just for that reveal. And so he never cared about the kids. He never cared about any of that. It was all just like, let me get close to you for intel, like a spy mission sort of deal.
So fate's a big thing in the story, right? Like stuff happens by chance, whether that's in favor of one person and a big problem for the other. In the case of God Valley, it's a big problem for Rox, but really fell in the lap of Garling. I'm gonna say no to it was intentional, and I think he got lucky. Now obviously if the God Knights do have any knowledge of Davy clan members, then it's like, okay, we need to address that if we know. But it sounds like this is a situation where things fell into Garling's lap and he took advantage of it. Whereas, again, like Rox himself was telling Harold about how it feels like fate's pulling me in, and Harold is kind of Rox is kind of approaching this in the sense of very similar to how Whitebeard approached Marineford, to where he was going into this pretty much convinced that he wasn't coming out alive, but his goal was never to come out alive. It was just make sure this person gets away alive. In this case, it's Rox getting Teach and his wife out of there, where it seems like it was only Teach. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably more likely to be happenstance, but another thing that I didn't say earlier, but it actually came to mind while I was saying this. Sometimes I have these ideas and I know that they're decent, and then I just can't think of all the good reasons why they're decent. But for this one, remember how Garling was like, like I found something completely unexpected. The Great One will be pleased. The last time, like whenever he was talking to the Gorosei, what it made me think like was, maybe he's been trying to, get in favor of Emu this whole time because he wants to be a Gorosei, which did end up happening, right?
Yeah.
So maybe when he was younger, he was like, okay, like if he knew that the Great One would be pleased, then he must know that the Great One is looking for Davy family members, I would imagine.
Something like that. In terms of what we know, definitely probably that.
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if he was going out looking for them on purpose, like taking all the leads he could to find Davy family members, because it would get him some brownie points with Emu, so that eventually he might be able to get into the Gorosei and be immortal and all this kind of stuff, which, again, like, it's probably more likely that it's just a random thing and he was just like on here on a different mission and had a one night stand and then, you know what I mean, then came back and was like, oh wow, you have kids, all right, well guess what, we're killing all of you, so sorry. It's like, which is super sad, but that seems to be the case. But I almost like the idea more that he was planning this all the whole time because he just wanted to get in with Emu, because like he seems to be a schemer a little bit, you know, like he's definitely, you know, like there's a reason Oda made him a new Gorosei, right? Like, oh yeah, he's 100%. Obviously, if he's been planting those seeds his whole life, that'd be kind of cool.
So a part of like why I would like it to be very intentional, a scheme of his, is because it's clearly, if that is the case, and what I'm thinking right now is it's clearly setting up for him to fail, at least in terms of the flashback, because it seems like, you know, the way the Gorosei had already kind of talked down on him when he walked in the room to let it be known that he's a new member. They kind of talk down on him like, yo, you shouldn't be here right now. And then again, assuming at the reverie that was Shamrock in the black cloak we saw, you know, it was very similar to that, where it's like, yo, we don't just do this. You're lucky that we're even doing this, making the time out for you to do this right now. But so I'm wondering if this is going to be a situation where, like, you know, Garling had went in with, you know, saying, oh, the Great One is going to like this. Let's make this the spot to attack in 2 years for the festival. And then you clearly see it clearly doesn't go at all how they would have liked it to. Like, Rox is pulling up, Roger showing up, Garp is like leaving his vacation to come and join the chaos. Slaves are being freed and all this stuff. It clearly was a big mess that was so bad that they had to keep it quiet from like the world. So I can see a scenario where, like, in the aftermath of God Valley, when we're getting all of these perspectives, I can see a situation where, like, the Gorosei are kind of like talking down on Garling and kind of like putting all the blame at his feet, saying that, oh, this would have never happened if we didn't listen to you, yada yada, which probably like really hampered any chance of him becoming a Gorosei for like all these decades to follow. So I'm to make that long-winded thing short, that's kind of why I would like it to be like a scheme that he did cook up and it just kind of blew up in his face.
And that might explain why he had to come back and like go to the Gorosei and be like, we gotta talk about a certain pirate, because maybe like for those years between God Valley and the last 6 months, I guess, maybe he wasn't, I don't want to say an out, or well, because I mean it was Shamrock, but I don't want to say like Garling was an outcast, but maybe he was like looked down upon, and so Shamrock came in like, I gotta like avenge the family, you know what I'm saying? Like we failed all the way back then because we didn't kill all the Davy members, but hey, I found another one, which is Blackbeard, because that would explain why Saturn was like, oh, his lineage is important. So Shamrock came in like, hey, I found another one. It might have been that like because Shamrock's like the captain, so they know he's strong, and well, now he's a supreme commander, right? Because Garling moved up, whatever it is, he's like the leader. So like they definitely respected him in the sense of like strength, but maybe like there was like a little bit of like the Gorosei hated the whole Fagarland family because, like you said, because of all the failing, and that's why Shamrock was even looking for another Davy member, because it's like, well, if I'm gonna fix this, I'm gonna find any other Davy members, you know what I mean, and take care of them, because that's like the Great One likes that. I care about what the Great One wants more than anything else. And so that might have, and so maybe part of the reason that Garling actually got promoted is because Shamrock figured that out, and they're like, all right, you know what, Garling, like, you know, like you were right that there was Davy members back then, but everything got screwed up, so like we haven't liked you. But now your kid went and found even more Davy members, so it's like we kind of need you on the team forever, because, you know, like we need to stop these guys, kind of thing. Like the Davy members are our biggest threat, and the Fagarlands are obviously like the biggest enemy apparently for them.
So like also like adds all that, I'm wondering too now, like, what does this mean for Shamrock? Because like, you know, we have that line from Scopper about Shanks being like the Destiny Child or something like that. You know, we're speculating on like if Shanks has both Celestial Dragon and Davy clan blood, which puts him in like this weird position. But he's more of a free guy. He's more like on the side of the pirates. Like whereas like you have the opposite guy being Shamrock, who in a lot of ways fits that same bill, but he's on the side that we're against, the side of the world government. So I'm kind of like wondering, okay, what role does he have to fill in all this? Is there something special for him that's being set up? Because start early on and earlier in Elbaf, he got called back to the Holy Land, and I think at the time a lot of people were speculating that he's about to be announced as the new supreme commander of the God Knights now that Garling got moved up.
Right, because he's already like the captain, right? Or I forget what the title was, but he's like ahead of like Gunko and the other ones. Yeah.
So it's like okay, he's probably about to get moved up in rank as well to fill whatever position Garling had first. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, if God Valley failed, and now we're meeting Shamrock. Like I know Shamrock just left. But I feel like it's getting more and more likely that he's going to come back and lose, and it's going to be like a repeat of the Fagarland family's failures. Because the fact that Garling got into the Gorosei means we're going to be dealing with the Fagarland family for like the whole story probably. So I think Shamrock should probably lose here because it's like he's the young one, you know what I mean? Like he's got to go through what Garling kind of went through. So he'll lose here, like this climactic battle at Elbaf, just like Garling lost at God Valley. Or like I say lost like in quotes because like the mission, like the cleansing got screwed up, but like they saved the celestial dragons and stuff, so whatever, Rox died, so it's kind of successful, but not a success in the way they typically are used to. So I think Shamrock needs to lose basically, and that would make him a lot like Garling, and that's where I think Kid is coming in, which I know sounds crazy to.
Oh, okay. So you got Kid coming in as like a save for Elbaf.
I think Kid beating Shamrock should happen if Oda.
Okay.
Because like that's him beating Shanks, but not Shanks. You know what I mean? It's like he's never gonna beat Shanks because that's Shanks. But I know Shamrock's like the same level probably. But I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. Or if he. The best thing is if he blows off one of Shamrock's arms permanently. That'd really be crazy. What we got to do. That's what we really got to do. Oda, take notes.
That'd be kind of crazy.
I want him to upgrade his railgun. See, now we're getting thick into the weeds of it, and we do have more stuff that is not this thick in the weeds to talk about. But my preference is that he meets Vegapunk. And because he already calls everything punk whatever, right? So like there's definitely some connection. He's also an engineer, so like Vegapunk's an engineer. So I hope he meets Vegapunk here on Elbaf, upgrades his railgun, that it then incorporates like Mother Flame type energy, and then that is able to permanently hurt the God's Knights, and that's how he's able to fight them. And maybe he gets some hockey and stuff too. I mean, that seems far-fetched at this point because Kid is not a hockey guy, but powered up railgun sounds cool.
Okay, yeah, Kid. Because I mean, like, yeah, like I'm not in the boat that thinks Kid is dead. I really feel like Oda's gonna find some way to make him relevant again, and
for sure.
I just don't trust the concept of Devil Fruit users drowning in One Piece. Unfortunately, like,
no.
Yeah, no, I just don't see Kid going out like that. Oda's gonna just bring him back in like a different way, whether that's he washed up on Elbaf somehow, one of his crew swam him to shore. But I could see Kid showing up here in Elbaf. This kind of in a weird way being like Elbaf being like his Dressrosa to Kid's Law, kinda in a weird way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I could see something crazy happening.
I
just don't know what it would be.
I did a long video on it that took me forever to edit, and I'm glad it did well because I was worried knowing it was a kid video. I was like, man, I spent so much time on a Eustace Kid video. I might hate Kid more than ever if this video doesn't do well because like it was stressful to do, but it did well. And basically, what I ended up saying in the video is that, and there's a lot of stuff in there, but basically I think Shamrock killed Kid's Shanks, so like Kid's inspiration, like whoever he looked up to, like his version, his Shanks, his Corazon. I think Shamrock killed that guy, but Kid thinks it's Shanks because he doesn't know the Gods Knights even exist or anything, so that's why he's hated Shanks.
Okay,
but he's gonna find out this arc that it's really Shamrock, and he's be like, oh no, he's gonna be like raging at that point, like no, this is. No, like I've been going after the wrong guy. I lost my arm. My crew almost died. I lost my poneglyphs, all because I was chasing the wrong dude.
The wrong guy. Okay.
Yeah, and he's going to be just raging, and that's going to lead him to upgrade one way or another.
Okay. That's interesting.
And then he'll beat Shamrock. It might be Luffy and Kid team up against Shamrock because he's probably super OP, and I'm also thinking like with the regeneration and all that, it's going to be like a very unique challenge for both of them. And so I think it'll be a little bit like Doflamingo against Law and Luffy, where like Luffy ended up finishing it, but maybe like they'll team up and Kid will be able to blow off Shamrock's arm. So he'll get that win. That's all. If that happens, he's good. Like that, to me, that's like plenty. You know what I mean? He got his revenge, whatever. The symbolism's off the charts, super cool. But then maybe Luffy sends him packing with like a big hockey thing, so he goes back because of like the way the circles work, right? Maybe so that's how the fight ends, is like permanent damage with Kid. Like he can't. Maybe Shamrock can't regenerate because of. I remember how when Saturn approached the Mother Flame, it looked like a vampire looking at the light, or like, you know what I mean? Like he was like, whoa, like that. It looked very like he did not like looking at the Mother Flame. And so I wonder if that's part of it, where maybe Mother Flame does permanent damage, like it breaks through the regeneration for one reason or another, because it's like sun energy or whatever it is, right? Or it's just super powerful, I don't know. But so maybe he incorporates it. That's how he blows off the arm, and then Kid's back to. He's got, because another thing. Sorry, I'm just hogging the mic, but
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm just like thinking about stuff right now. I'm gonna get to it after you're done.
Have you ever thought about how Law and Kid's combined attack in Wano is basically a Mother Flame attack? It's like the same thing as Leloucia. They like Law made the hole. He pre-made the hole, so they did it in reverse. But he pre-made a giant hole that goes all the way down to the lava,
all
the way as low as you could. And then what does Kid do? Shoot a giant laser and sends people. Like one person, but sends people into the lava. So like they recreated the Mother Flame attack before it even happened. So like I don't know if recreated would be the right word, but you know what I mean. Like they almost
something
did
very
it. So
similar, very similar in a way.
So it's some weird symbolism where now I'm like, is Oda telling us that Kid's railgun is like a precursor to the Mother Flame? Like that it's, you know, like again, I don't know if he's gonna get one that's that strong, or if we're gonna find out like the science behind the Mother Flame uses similar technology to what's the railgun is doing. You know, like that's not. I don't think fusion and railguns work for the same physics, but whatever. Oda will do something. I don't know. I always just thought that was weird. Like giant hole in the ground, lava. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I mean, I'm at the point now where I could straight up be like, I don't think something is happening, but I'm like, yo, I won't say nothing is a zero possibility in One Piece anymore. It's, I mean, I about to say like Shanks having a twin brother, that was the nail in the coffin on me saying anything is a 0% chance at this point.
A lot of things like that.
It's just like, this has been one of the greatest stretches of One Piece, just on a chapter by chapter basis, where, I mean like in terms of consecutively, like this has been one of the greatest stretches that I've seen in this story, and it's been so much lore dump and so much like stuff we're learning just through the flashback alone that we forgot how much stuff has been happening like outside of it. Like, again, we mentioned earlier, Shamrock had to leave to go because he was summoned to, you know, what we're speculating on him hearing about the promotion. Oh, allegedly the Holy Land is on fire, or there's something going on there. Emu's causing all types of trouble here on Elbaf. What the hell is Blackbeard up to right now? The Revs, like there's still so much going on right now outside of the story.
The Domi Reversi.
Yeah, Domi Reversi. Like just on Elbaf is already crazy, but like there's still so much that we're waiting to hear about outside of Elbaf in the modern time of the story. And I'm like, we've been so focused on like all this rock stuff that it's like, it's crazy how it's like everything else is taking a back seat. And Oda just like has it's been months now that we've gotten all that stuff, and we're just kind of like, yeah, we got to talk about this like Loki flash. We're not even at the part that's back to being about Loki and Harold.
I know. Like have you seen the memes where it's like Loki is like talking to Luffy and Luffy's like, all right, dude, hurry up. Emu's up there. Like I don't need to hear about rocks right now.
3 minutes. Loki could have told the story in 3 minutes, and then here we go getting all the lore.
Yeah, which by the way, we know how these work. It's not Loki's not actually saying all of this. Like Oda's weaving it all together. But it is funny to think about. Loki's like, so Rocks really likes Shaggy, and then Shaggy started a bar. It's like, okay, Loki, like, what happened to your dad? Like, what happened 14 years ago? Why are we all the way back 38? What's at best. And even his. Oh, sorry, I was saying even his birth is like Loki. You probably don't even actually remember that. Like, it's relevant. It's for us, but like. We just wanted to know about 14 years ago, so we can go stop this demon that is flying around.
Let me go back. And tell you about before I was born, when my dad was like still a savage, and then he met the mother of my older brother, and then he met my mother, and then I was born. This is definitely So with the Shaggy stuff, it'd be really funny because it's like from Luffy's perspective, Loki's just probably like, this woman named Shaggy got kidnapped, and then maybe Luffy realizes who he's talking about, and like that's all Loki can tell. Like he doesn't know what went on Pirate Island, but it'd be so funny. But this is all clearly Oda's way of like throwing a lot of lore in, because clearly Loki's not telling this stuff. I don't know how some people have taken that seriously.
Yeah, and it's also like. If you've been following One Piece long enough, you know how these flashbacks work. Like, even if you go back to like Skypiea, when we got the Nolan flashback, it's like I don't know if I think it was Wiper who was recounting. It was either Wiper or Robin. Robin brought it up, and then I think Wiper started thinking about it. Whatever it was. It's like, dude, they were like in the middle of like the climax of that arc. Like, it's not like Wiper is actually sitting down or whoever. I can't remember who it was, but I think it's Wiper. I don't think he's sitting down and is like, all right, so here's who Nolan was, right? He was traveling all these years ago. Like, there's not time, like it's Oda's just got to convey it for us. And so he picks a little moment where like realistically, in that case, it's probably like Wiper saying like, oh, Nolan was really important to us. Yeah, let's knock this down. Something like that. But like, so for this, it's probably Loki. Like, remember when he said he started with him walking in and seeing his dad dying, and then there was the chest. He's probably still at that point, and then the rest of this is just for us, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like what Loki is not telling the story of the Davy clan right now.
Yeah, I don't even know if he knows. Like, he probably doesn't.
I really doubt it. Unless Harold told him like with his dying breath.
Yeah, which that'd be kind of cool. Like that, if like Harold's like, I got to tell you about my best friend or something.
I'm waiting.
Which I mean, Loki knows who it was, but
Oh yeah, 100%. But like, I'm waiting for like obviously like God Valley is like the thing that we're all most interested in. But I'm also waiting for the part of the flashback now when Harold. All right, like when Harold gets the focus back and gets more interesting again, post God Valley, because it's like, all right, we got to get some of that now, because as far as him and Loki know, they're just gonna hear the news about Rocks died at God Valley, and all right, where do we go from here? Like, what happens to Loki's motivation? What happens to the way he views the world? Is Rocks dying what motivates him to officially become a pirate and start setting sail on his own, and eventually causing all the mayhem he did at sea, and then because we're still gonna get like a montage of stuff like him meeting Lola and all that kind of stuff. Like we're gonna get the part in the flashback where he meets an older Big Mom, and the wedding is supposed to happen, but it falls through because Lola ends up leaving. We're still gonna get all that. And then we're gonna wrap it back. I mean, I think we will, because it's one of those things that Oda likes to remind you about with the lore. And that was when Loki was very first like name dropped. So I think we're gonna get stuff like that. So like we're gonna see, and I'm really wondering if like now that we have the knowledge that we do about Rocks, I'm wondering if Loki's gonna talk to Big Mom and maybe ask something about rocks, like something rocks related. So. I would like that to happen.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh,
but,
I'd love that.
We still have to see. We still got to find out. But this has been like a great stretch that Oda has been on with like just the story of rocks, and I can't wait to see like how this is about to wrap up.
I completely agree with you, man. He like I don't know how to word this the right way because I don't want to imply that I wasn't already invigorated, but it's reinvigorated a lot of people's like excitement for One Piece again, where I feel like it's been there because especially like you go back to Emu and a lot of Elbaf in general, it's been honestly amazing so far, but this flashback in particular, I feel like the entire One Piece fandom is on the edge of their seat. Like, okay, like
I'm recording a video right now with you.
Like, hit me again. yeah. It made Edenz come back to making content, so like, Oda's cooking.
Dude, when I tell you, like, so I wasn't sitting here going like, so me like coming off of Egghead, I thought Egghead was amazing, and so going into Elbaf, it was just like, okay, there's been a lot of hype for Elbaf. People are hyping up Usopp a lot. And I'm just over here like, I'm keeping my expectations fairly low just because I have no idea what to expect with this arc.
Yeah.
Like they just, and if you told me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, like even further beyond that, when we were in like Egghead and Wano, if you told me, oh yeah, when we get to Elbaf, yeah, that's when we're gonna learn about Rox D. Zebek. We're gonna actually see Rox D. Zebek. I would have called you a liar. I would have said that makes no sense. Why would we get that? Here we are. It all makes sense.
Especially in the first 34 chapters of Elbaf, right? That's the really crazy part.
Oh my god, only 34.
We're only 34 chapters in.
34 chapters? What?
1126 was the first one, and that just ends with Nami in the castle and we don't know what's going on. So that was like not even full Elbaf. That was just the start. So like kind of like 33 chapters, and we are already here.
How many are the flashback? How many chapters have we been into this flashback? It feels like at least 10, right?
I think it started in 53. I think that one was called It's an Awful Day. Let me go see. No, Awful Day was 1152. So we've been in it for 7 chapters now.
Okay, 7.
Because half of that one's not flashback, but yeah. But
what's so crazy is Oden is like the longest flashback in One Piece, I think, and that's like
I think you're right.
16 chapters, like 15, 16 chapters of the Oden flashback, and this is only like half the length of that, and we've gotten so much stuff.
And we're about to get God Valley, apparently.
Yeah.
Which is like, you have to add 5 more chapters minimum, I would like, to go through the full process. Like, maybe not, we're not going to be in the midst of the fighting for 5, but at least 5 to show us what happens and to get everybody out of there and stuff, right? I think. Something like that.
Yeah. So, we talked about this a while back, but I was saying that, I was saying that I do think we're going to get some of God Valley, but I wasn't sure that we were going to get like the full perspective of what was going on between Rox, Roger, and Garp. I thought that would be safe for when we fast forward to what's going on with Garp on Hachinosu. If like, Blackbeard reveals to Garp that, oh, I'm Rox D. Teach. Well, I mean, now in this case, I'm Davy D. Teach. And, he reveals to Garp that he's the son of Rox. Then, we're going to get that flashback from Garp's perspective on how he became the hero of the Marines. And we could still get that, but I'm starting to believe that we're going to get a lot more in regards to like Roger and Garp and Rox than I initially had thought. Because it seems like Oda is really going all in right now on God Valley, which would make sense because this was like the biggest highlight of Rox in the story. So why not give most of it right here? Because we've gotten to the point where now we know why people are coming here, how involved Shaki was. Like Shaki almost became Boa. She almost became Boa in this instance.
Yeah, and I think Oda knows he's putting on a show right now. Like, I think he knows that this is like tantalizing for us to like keep getting all these crazy reveals. Like, if he doesn't give us God Valley at this point, it's like it's gonna feel like we got blue balled a little bit. And I also wonder, like, how is he going to come back to this now? It's like we've gotten so much for Rocks. We got all this reveal. We know the Davy members are here. We know Teach is here. You can't not give us all the details at this point. You know, like it. I mean, maybe there'll be like little bits and pieces there. Like maybe we don't see every fruit or something. But I don't even know if that'll happen. I think we're about to get literally everything.
I think it needs to be everything now, because when you think about it, so many of the big players, they've all moved on. Like Rocks is dead, you know, unless you're on that theory that he is Blackbeard, or his soul is inside of Blackbeard.
Yeah, something like that, which is possible, but
possible. But it's like, as far as we know right now, Rocks is dead, Whitebeard is dead, Big Mom and Kaido are pretty much out of the story until further notice. Roger is dead. Like Garp is really like the last guy left who can tell the story of God Valley. As of right now, you know, I don't think we're gonna really see Shiki or Don Marlin no time soon.
We definitely aren't seeing Don Marlin anytime soon.
I mean, not Don Marlin.
My guy Don Marlin. R.I.P.
R.I.P. for real.
He's got what do you have, like 2 bars in the whole story? I think he said he had like 1 word bubble, and he's poor guy, man. I really like Don Marlin. I was excited for Don Marlin, and my guy didn't even make it to freaking God Valley.
Dude, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He's
Marlin
a chump.
Didn't make it.
He's a chump. I'm gonna be honest. You can't make it to God Valley. You're a chump.
Actually, wait. I'm sorry. We got to go back to 1096 now. Cause who was the one with that looked like he had a hat on? Was that not Don Marlin now?
No, that was. Well, it depends which one. Are you talking about Gil Baster?
That might have been Gil Baster then.
I'll pull it up.
Okay, he's like under Gong Zhui.
Yeah. Well, here you won't be able to. I have it cropped weird. It'd be too much work to fix it now. I'll fix this eventually. I'm trying to fix the format, by the way, guys. I've been thinking it's not that it needs fixing, but I've been trying to improve it, and I got some ideas, but didn't do it this week. But now I'm like very motivated too, because like, damn, Oda's just cooking. But yeah, the guy in the bottom left of that under Gonzui here, you can't see it, but yeah, that's Gil Baster. He revealed that in an SBS, which I was
okay. I couldn't remember. Because once we got Don Marlin, I thought that was Don Marlin for a second, and then I'm like, wait, he didn't make it to God Valley. But okay.
Nope, he didn't make it. He's a chump. Again, I'm sad. I love Beige also. I'm still editing this cover story video, and I got a lot more respect for the Beige cover story now that I went through it. Like there were some cool moments there, man. Especially with Pez. But either way, I'm sad about Don Marlin. It'd be cool if Beige had like a little bit of maybe he heard about this. Like, how old is he? He's older though, right? Beige is like 50 something. Right?
Yeah, let me see.
Because we don't know what
42. He's 42.
Okay, so we don't know what their relation is. By the way, like they're probably related, or at least from the same like crime family, but we don't know if like that's his dad or whatever, right? But yeah, 42. So that's interesting. So Don Marlin, if he is Beige's dad, he was alive long enough to at least be, you know. So Beige would have been like, what, 3 whenever he died? Because I think he died 39 years ago because Shaq was taken a year before.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy.
So close, pretty close. Yeah, I'm definitely on the boat that's his dad, because Oda has really been hamping up this whole thing about Lineage a lot recently. And especially even more so through this flashback. Like Lineage is a huge thing in One Piece right now in terms of like Lineage being, I mean, it always has been, but even more so now it's gotten a big focus on like, you know, who you were like related to, in the sense like who was like your predecessor. You know, we're speculating that Don Marlin was the father of Beige. Some people are speculating Silver Axe, what's his relation to X Drake. We know Blackbeard for a fact is connected to Rocks. And you know, now in the recent chapter, we're getting Luffy's dad involved in some way. I wanted to like, this was on my mind earlier, and I wanted to say this real quick. Are you on the boat that thinks Dragon will fight Garling?
I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm kind of like, will they have a confrontation? Yes. Will they have like a to the death kind of fight where like will it actually be to the death? I don't know, but will it be like a full-fledged fight? I'm not sure, because I also think Dragon's got to box Emu at some point. I've been on that, like, not again. like that might be where Dragon dies, and that might imply that Dragon would have to beat Garling, and I don't know if that's going to happen either, but I would like a moment where Dragon at least gets the upper hand on Garling, like some kind of moment where he gets, because I think Garling might have something to do with Luffy's mom dying, but I don't know.
I'm not mad at that idea. I kind of like that. The reason I asked that is because I feel like this flashback could set up the potential for them having a fight or some kind of clash in the modern day when we get to like Final War or something. And the reason I say that is because we know at the end of the last chapter, Dragon has just come across Shanks and Shamrock's mom. So, you know, it clearly seems like, I mean, not even seem like, it's clearly showing that Garling has an interest in Shamrock and Shanks of taking him with them to the Holy Land because he didn't kill them and we've seen them in the modern day. But as far as we know, Shanks is the only one that got put in the chest and got out of there. So I'm wondering if Dragon only had time to put Shanks in a chest, and before he could hide Shamrock, Garling showed up and stopped him. And it led to kind of like a brief moment where Garling almost kills a young dragon. But you know, something happened that stopped that from happening, and and Garling gets away with Shamrock, whereas Dragon, he doesn't have Shanks. He kind of like ends up, whatever happens, where he has to run away, or he just something happens in all the chaos to where he gets separated from the chest that he put Shanks inside. So, you know, he can't do nothing about that. But, you know, Roger by chance comes across the chest and, you know, Shanks is there and the rest is history. So I'm kind of like wondering if that's what happened, because, like, you know, he was meant to save both of them but could only save one.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably it, because like how like the chest ending up with Roger is probably like totally happenstance. Like Dragon was probably just banking on that somebody would grab the treasure chest because that's what they want is treasure, you know, that's what they're all about. And then so like that's probably just like luck, but I'm thinking, like you said, something got in the way where then Shamrock still ended up with the God's Knights, which that's actually another question I kind of wanted to talk about, is like this God's Knight like child situation, because we also saw Gunko this chapter, which we haven't talked about yet, which is a surprise. Because Gunko, from what we saw in Brooke's flashback, isn't, well, I guess she could be from here maybe, but she's like, you know, from wherever Brooke's Island is, right? And so now it's like, but now she's with this God's Knight, and, you know, she's part of the Manmeyer family. We already knew this God's Knight was a Manmeyer. So it's like, are these God's Knights going around and just shagging with whoever, and then they go back and cleanse that island and take the kid back and make them a God's Knight? You know what I mean? Like, what, like, is that, because, like, was Gunko, like, so she was yelling father in that one panel, and so what if instead it's that her, like, what if this is actually her mom right here, like her biological mom, but she went and, you know, banged whoever, like some random guy on Brooke's Island. I doubt it's Brooke because she was calling him Brooke in that panel, so I don't think it's him. But but she went to Brooke's Island and maybe, like, you know, had a kid, like got pregnant, I guess, with like the king or with somebody there, and then you know she would have had Gunko in the Holy Land then. So I don't know if that works as well. I'm trying to think. So maybe it's not her. Maybe it's a different Manmeyer. But either way, just the point is, Gunko would only be a half child, like some Manmeyer person, and then someone from Brooke's home island. And then so she stayed on Brooke's Island until it got cleansed, and then they took the kid back and somehow made them a God's Knights. Because it's the same story as Shanks right now, right? They're coming and taking over the island that he was born on, and then, well, Shamrock will get taken back. Maybe they were going to take Shanks too, but, you know, with the chest and everything. Because, like, there had to be some kind of, like, interest in the child to bother taking them in the first place instead of just killing them off, right? So it's like, yeah, I am kind of wondering now, okay, is Gunko like a celestial dragon baby, like kind of like a Bonnie situation where, like, you know, like you're a half blood, but that's good enough, to where, like, you know, you can be used to serve the Great One, being Emu, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Gunko translates to child warrior or something like that. Military child.
Yeah. So it seems. So what I'm thinking is that, like, all right, it's like, all right, we can have some use for you. You're of celestial dragon blood to some extent. So, you know, obviously she probably got put through like some very tough times as a kid, like being put through all these different like training methods and I'm thinking like some kind of like weird like a classroom full of all these children being trained up to be like these soulless, brainwashed warriors down the line, and she was like the best out of the class who got to end up going on to serve Emu personally, like Emu's like personal attendant, dang near.
Yeah.
So there's so much right now, because like even back here in the flashback, as far as God Valley, her face is wrapped up, and I'm wondering like what's up with that. I'm wondering like does she have like a special tattoo? Is that just a thing for aesthetic purposes? Like, why is her face bandaged up? I know some people were on the Jenny theory, but I think that ship is kind of sailed now that we know that there's some connection to Brooke.
Right.
So I'm wondering if there's like something special on her face, like if she has a certain mark or a certain tattoo, and she just has to keep it like her face wrapped up now to like hide that. I'm wondering if we're gonna get some wild thing like it's like a tattoo similar to like what Dragon walks around with. Like if that and then that's when we get the lore on Dragon's tattoo.
I'm thinking because like I'm trying to go back, but now my browser is not working with me, and I don't want to use any browser that does not have pop-up blocker activated for TCB. But I can't change the chapter. But I wanted to go back to the Brooke chapter because I think we see her mouth like whenever she yells "father" in that one flashback 1149. Panel. Yeah, so we actually see her mouth in that one, right? And it's not like weird or anything.
Yeah. It looks like it's her screaming, the one that's saying "father." It looks like it's her.
Oh yeah, I'm almost positive it's her. I mean, we don't know for sure. Yeah, you can see her mouth. I don't know if you can see it on my version here. Actually, you know what? I think I can. Nope, that doesn't.
Yeah, I can see.
But you can't. But not all the way on the right. Where that panel is, because I got.
It's fine. I have it up too.
But yeah, well, I wanted to show everybody else mainly. But sorry, everybody. But. Yeah, her mouth is open over there whenever she's yelling "father." So something happened between that and I don't know, like a really sad idea that I came up with, and I don't know if this is gonna be it. But like, what if she like just kept yelling for her dad, like after she got taken, like she just kept screaming and screaming, so they just like put bandages over it, so it's like now you can't scream anymore or whatever because like you're being annoying, which like would be sad, but I could definitely see that. I mean, or maybe it's like a katakuri thing. She got some.
Dude, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Like we're sitting here talking about it, but like we were naming off all the stuff that like we still got to address after the Harold and Rock's flashback. But I forgot about Gunko. Like, yeah, there's still. I think that's supposed to be one of the big rewards by the end of the arc, is that we're supposed to find something very important about this Gunko and Brooke connection.
Yeah, I'm like so sold now that like. We're just redoing the Victoria Sindri thing. Maybe not like the love aspect, because Hogback is a freak, but but we're definitely revisiting. No, seriously, Hogback. I don't need to see your ass ever again. There was a Dr. Hogback TCG card, and I was like, that's a waste of card.
Oh no, that's nasty work. That's nasty.
We don't need that. No. But because like Sindri, obviously, like. Sindri actually died, but was brought back and was like in this weird limbo state where like it wasn't Sindri because like it's a different shadow and like she's forced to do whatever, but like her real self was in there still. And I'm thinking Gunko might be the same thing, maybe even to the point where Gunko has actually died before, but then Emu does this thing to give the immortality or whatever, like the regeneration. I think there might be something there where like it's like they're already dead. They're like visages of themselves, you know what I mean? And like Emu brought them back or something. So I think we're gonna learn a lot through Gunko. We're gonna learn how the whole God's Night process works, because I think we're gonna free her from maybe like Brooke does it with some music or whatever, and then she's gonna explain to us like, okay, like so we are all like ghosts basically or something like that, and that's how we figure it all out, because we got to get someone on the inside to help. That's usually how it works. So another thing that we haven't talked about yet that I wanted to bring up, trying to go through the whole chapter here. At the beginning of the chapter, we got pretty much a confirmation that Wang Zhi sold all these guys out because he's counting the money up here.
Yeah, 100%. Man, I when I saw that, I was like, all right, yeah. I see why this fraud was packed up off screen.
Yeah, he that's not a good look. And I wonder if part of that like the Rocky Port thing is that Blackbeard was like getting revenge, because it's like, I know you you know, caused, like, I don't know if caused God Valley's the right way to put it, but like God Valley would have been way different if you didn't do that. Like would Rox have gone? I mean, his family's at risk, but I could also see Rox if Shaggy wasn't there, so the whole crew wasn't motivated. Which, like, some of them wanted the devil fruits. There was like different motivations, but I think without Shaggy there, I mean, he probably just moves Teach and his mom, and you know what I mean. He probably just picks him up before it all happens. Like, he'd probably. I guess I don't even know if he would have heard of it, right? Well, no, because of the transmission, he might have. But either way, I'm thinking that like that could just be Blackbeard getting revenge or whatever. And then now you think about Caribou being there. I wonder if there's a story there too, where like this Caribou, like, if Wang Zhi is Caribou's dad, as people say, like, is that is Caribou? Does Caribou know about like the beef of the past, where like his dad and Teach's dad, you know, like his dad ratted out Teach's dad, so is Caribou going to do the same thing? Maybe he doesn't even have to know. Maybe he's just going to like relive that. So now Caribou's going to betray, you know, Zebek, like his dad betrayed, or like his dad betrayed Zebek, so he's going to betray Teach now. You know, I don't know if there's a parallel going on there.
So it's interesting, right? With Wang, it feels so wrong to say Wang Zhi, and I know that's how you say it, but I blame Tekking. I can only say Wang Zhi.
It's definitely Tekking's fault, for sure.
I can only say Wang Zhi now because of Tekking, but Wang Zhi is like, you know, so interesting too, because it's so obvious that he's the one who was behind the Shocky stuff, because, you know, the panel with him counting the money, but also like in 1157, so like 2 chapters ago, I think, he was like the only male member, like, I'm not counting Streusen when I say this, but the only male member of the Rocks Pirates that didn't like go Google over Shocky, like he wasn't in the panel. So it's like, all right, you're the one who you're clearly the one who like stood out and was willing to do this for the money. But it's so interesting to me because, you know, when we get the panel during the Kuma flashback about that panel with all the Rocks Pirates, even Gil Bastar and Dong Zhui, all these people, everybody is there except for Wang Zhi. And so it's clear now that, all right, he wasn't at God Valley. He stayed behind on Pirate Island. And that makes a lot of sense to me now, because we know he ran Pirate Island up to the modern day, up until the 2 years, the Rocky Port incident, he was in charge. So it kind of makes me feel like, all right, once Rocks Pirates all fell apart, Rocks was gone, Wang Zhi took advantage of that to like conquer the island himself and have everyone follow his lead, to where he took it over. But you know, because it kind of sounds, I kind of imagine like a scenario where, hey, maybe Shiki, Big Mom, or somebody else wanted the island, would have liked the island as their territory since Rocks was gone, but Wang Zhi already had things set up in place to where everybody followed him. So it was kind of like I assume he's strong in his own right to some extent, but also like he has like these vast numbers of followers on the island now, because his epithet was something like it was some kind of religious kind of thing. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. I can't. Somebody gave me a breakdown because it wasn't super duper clear. Well, now my browser does not want to load this. Let me see if I can find it. Oh well, my file explorer is also fighting me. From what I remember, it was like a religious thing, or like a cult leader kind of thing.
Yeah,
that.
Yeah. So it's like with that, I could see him like taking everybody under his wing, and then like smooth talking everybody into like having him be the leader and stuff like that, which is how he already had a good foothold in the modern day of One Piece, you know, until Rocky Port happened. Yeah. It kind of makes sense now, because like he had such this strong hold on Hachinosu that to where it required, like, Blackbeard couldn't just walk in there himself and take it over. He needed Kobe and Law with whatever they did in order to like take down Wang Zhi. So, you know, it was clearly like he had a strong enough hold on the island. Yeah,
no, for sure. I agree. I think the reason why Wang Zhi was given he became the leader of Pirate Island is more so because, like, everybody else went to God Valley, and a lot of them probably died there, if you believe that, like, the zombies from Thriller Bark... Well, we know some of them definitely are the Rocks Pirates, but if Thriller Bark is God Valley, then maybe, like, they died there, and that's why the corpses were still there, and that's why Moria had them and all that stuff. And so we know Gon's Wee, like, we saw his body there, and we saw, like, a lot of the other background guys. And basically, I wonder if after Rox died, it was like a little bit of like a power vacuum situation where it's like, well, who is going to take over Pirate Island? Like, it should be one of us, because, like, we've been running the show this whole time. And, you know, Big Mom already had Whole Cake Island at the time, so, like, she had her own place to go to. Kaido didn't have anywhere to go to yet, but he was, like, a rookie at the time, so I don't think he would be, like, high enough in the pecking order to, like, really... you know, fight for it. You know, Don Marlin died. Stussy, she ended up working with Mads and stuff, right? So, like, I think a lot of them went off to go do their own things, and none of them were really even interested, and maybe Wang Zhi just stayed behind, because, like, that was his point, like, his goal the whole time, so there was never, like, you know, like, he probably told them all, like, well, you guys go to God Valley, I'll protect it, I'll protect home, you know, I'll stay here.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree with that.
And then whenever it was done, it's like, well, are you just going to stay here? He's like, well, yeah, like, who's going to take it? I mean, like, Big Mom, you're leaving. Kaido, you're too young. Like, you guys all got these different plans. Like, Shiki, I don't know what he was doing in the meantime, but it's like, you got... Later you're going to have plans for, like, a world domination thing that's going to take 20 years or whatever the hell you're doing. So, Shiki's got other plans. So I think he was just like... I think Wang Zhi is kind of a loser in that regard. Where he doesn't have bigger aspirations.
No, I agree. I think he took advantage of a great situation. So I agree with you. Everybody did go off to go do their own thing. I think he just kind of not going had the best foothold on Hachinosu. So, because in the Kaido, or one of, I guess, the Kaido flashbacks, but the main one when Luffy did the final punch on him and beat him, it kind of, depending on how you view the paneling, I haven't watched the anime episode for it, but after God Valley, you know, we see like the reaction that everyone has on Pirate Island about the Rocks Pirates being no more and Garp being the one that beat them. You know, we get that little panel of Big Mom trying to find Kaido, so implying that Kaido either didn't go to Hachinosu right after God Valley, or he went there and got out of there really quick without telling anybody, and everybody just kind of went off their own ways after that. Because I can't remember either. I'd have to go back and reread Whole Cake, but I thought we had a time frame on when Big Mom started making Totland. I think we did. I can't remember.
She the place where she ate Mother Carmel and the kids is Whole Cake Island.
Oh, that was Whole Cake?
Yeah, because remember how Mother Carmel like made a deal with the giants? Like, all right, we'll leave. Like, don't kill her, but we'll leave Elbaf. That they went to Whole Cake, and literally the main island, because Toto Land is obviously like the archipelago, like there's all sorts of islands, but Whole Cake Island is that island where they where that happened at. And then they just made that their base from that day. Yep.
Okay, yeah,
I didn't know that till like a month
ago. I forgot about. Yeah, I'm wondering, did I know that? Because like that's hitting me like that's fresh news. I guess I just never put that together. But yeah, no, I agree with you though. Everybody went on to do their own thing. I'm just kind of wondering, or I'm looking forward to seeing if Oda's going to do that at the end of God Valley, where everybody kind of stumbles across like their different parties. Like we see maybe like a glimpse of Kaido like in the distance heading to Wano, or meeting Orochi, or Stussy, like you said, like meeting Judge and Caesar and stuff like that. So I'm curious on like if we're gonna get any of that.
Yeah, for sure. Like I wish we got a little more about what some of the Rocks Pirates were doing before they joined Rocks. Like, I wish we knew, because like Rocks hunted them down, like in particular, right? He's like, he's like the kind of like he's like the type of company where like they don't put out like open applications. They go head hunting for the people they want to join. You know what I'm saying? So I wish I knew like, oh, Whitebeard was on this crew and he was well known for this because he was such a boss, and so that's why I went and got him. And then Shiki was out over here doing this, and he was he was the best at this thing, so I had to go get him. Like, I wish we got more detail on that, but I would be pretty surprised if we're not going to get any detail on the aftermath, at least, because like you're talking about, like they all went to different places, and I feel like we got to get a little bit of like Shiki just saying, "Well, all right, I'm going to go do this then," and then Silver Axe is like, "Well, I might as well go back to doing this." Like I hope we get that little dispersal.
Yeah, that's a big mystery. Like, what did Silver Axe go on to do? Because he clearly wasn't one of the ones that died at Wano. I mean that died at Wano. He clearly wasn't one of the ones that died at God Valley.
Not many people died in Wano.
Not many.
In the arc, like there was not like Kaido caught 0 bodies. Kinemon ain't even 6 feet under.
The one CP0 member got more bodies than Kaido.
Yeah,
by killing Izo.
Honestly though, like. More CP0 members died than like Alliance members because Maha died and Guernica died.
Mm-hmm.
But Guernica didn't die until he sent the picture off, until
the picture said he had to make sure he had the Wi-Fi signal.
I need Oda to stop. Man. I need Oda to stop that,
bro. I would have been happy if he just said it was the one with the long arms that got the picture. That would have been fine, Oda. Why did you say it was the bowler hat dude?
I know, or say that like the camera did it like because the camera fell out of his hand and took a picture, or like
tell us he has a body cam.
I don't know.
Tell us he has a body cam on him.
Something.
That would have been fine. Oh yeah, he had a body cam that was like automatically recording the fight with his body just lying there. Like I would have accepted that. Oh yeah, no, there's a what's it called? Whatever the TV transponder snails are. It's one of those. Like, something, man. It's crazy stuff. Oh, dude.
One other thing that we got to talk about, or maybe two things. There's like one big topic that I thought we were going to get to, and we haven't covered it, but I'll save that for the very end, because I don't know how long that will take, but this one will be quick. We haven't talked about young Morgans.
Oh, yeah. How do we go this whole time and not talk about young Morgans? Okay.
Hey.
All right.
This is peak, man. I gotta say, the design, top tier. Like Morgans has always been a goat in the story, like one of my favorites. This hat, I also love cocky. his emotion. He's like, I don't give a shit about. Well, he's like 15 here. He's 15 years old, and he's already pretending to be a bird all the time.
Dog, he's carrying so much like just like dripping aura that like he can't even fit his hand in the whole pocket.
Yeah,
like he can't even fit his hand in the pocket.
I didn't even think about that. That's so funny. He's got the tips of his fingers in there, bro. That's so funny. But yeah, I also love how this guy is like, he's just a kid running a local paper with a fancy name. How does he keep getting intel like this? It's like, it's cool to see the beginnings where it was just a local paper. Like the World Economic Journal back then was like not a big deal, and it ended up becoming like an empire. That's just so cool, because we already kind of knew that, we not even kind of, we did know that his first like big story, like where he really got a name for himself, was him talking about God Valley. But this, I don't know, man. The aura is just insane.
The fact that we've never seen him, we've never seen his human form. Like, it's just always been like this hybrid form.
My theory on that, I mentioned this in the stream, which I've barely ever mentioned this, and I don't know if this is going to end up being true. I don't have a lot of good reason, but I think the reason why he's hiding what he looks like is because he's Brand New's brother, and they look like each other, and so they would know. Because,
that's so funny.
Because it's so funny. It's Big News and Brand New, right? So it's like, you can kind of see the, and Brand New is also the guy who talks about like bounties and stuff. So he's also like a news guy in that regard, right? He's the news guy for the Marines.
Yeah, so, dude, I've been saying since 2020, 2021, every time Brand New comes up, I'm just like, oh yeah, the guy with the bounty fruit. Yeah,
because that's all he does. Well, he does that, and he also goes and tells Sengoku, like, oh hey, all the level 6 prisoners escaped, and he's like, what? He's like, well, we gotta find him. He's like, well, we can't tell anybody. It's like, okay, and that's one thing that really makes me think he knows Morgans, because it's like, obviously, if Brand New knows that, but the public can't, he's given a lot of important information, right? He's in the know. And so I think that's why he tells Morgan. So it's like, no, we can't tell anybody. But then imagine right after he finishes talking to Sengoku, he calls Morgan's and is like, hey, level 6 prisoners escape. Like, go write a story about it.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want that to happen. That would be so crazy that Brand New gets like some like crazy level of relevance outside of being like Sengoku's assistant. Because I'm like there are a few characters on One Piece that like I label them something until Oda gives them more. Like Bonnie, I used to always call Bonnie the "I'll never forgive you" girl. Until we got Egghead.
Yeah.
Then Brand New is always the bounty guy. Like I still think I think it's like 957 when we got all the Yonko bounties. Or 956, one of them. I always think that's like one of the funniest chapters, indirectly one of the funniest chapters in One Piece, because when you just read the dialogue, Brand New's just like, yeah, let me just like, just as a reminder to y'all, let me just like put up these bounties and show y'all the Yonko. And it's like so clear, like a thing for the audience, like the people, the readers reading the story. And it's like, yo, we're in a room full of all these vice admirals. They did y'all not doing y'all job if y'all don't know these Yonko bounties.
And right before that, they were talking about God Valley and Rocks and all this, and they're all freaking out because they've never heard it. And I get it, because Rocks is supposed to be erased from history and stuff. And I'm like, listen, you guys are not doing things the right way if you're not even telling people that like these great pirates existed. Like, because Big Mom and Kaido are still causing you problems, and they don't know that they were friends in the past. That might be valuable intel to know the entire time. You would think, but it's all about like, oh yeah, nah, Rocks was such a threat. We got to wipe him out. We can't make no mention of it. Yeah, like that. That should be one of the first things that they say. It should be like, hey, guess what? All the big pirates that are, out there today, like even going back to like pre-time skip, like Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, all these guys. Well, guess what? They were all, on the same group. They're all friends. They talk. It's like that would be really valuable to know. But no, we're just. But I mean, I guess that's that's part of their thing is like information withholding. But
I got 2 ideas with Morgan's.
Okay.
And I'm only bringing them up because I know he was the main thing that we were on right now. So I like the Brand New thing. I actually would really like that to happen. I'm really kind of like hoping that happens now. So one idea I had with Morgan's is that like he can get information because he goes around as like probably like a different person in his human form, because people only know him as in his devil fruit like hybrid form. And so that's one form of way he gathers information. But this is just an idea I really like, because this kind of answers the question on like the travel wise on how he knows what's going on all around the world. I would like to think that a secondary power that he gets past his transformation is being able to like have some kind of connection with like the birds that he uses to deliver his newspapers.
Like Karasu, but different.
Yeah. Just being able to communicate with them, because they're flying all around the planet, and he can just talk to them, and then he's learning from them what they saw from like a bird's eye view, and that's how he gets his story. And nobody would think otherwise, because they're not paying attention to no bird flying over their head. And then the bird tells Morgan's, oh yeah, so here's what I saw. This is what went down. And then Morgan's takes that story and runs with it.
Yeah.
Like I just like that idea. I just like it just fits, because even in this chapter we saw the birds with the hats. So it's like they clearly listen to him.
Yeah, like I mean they're like, technically employees, I believe. Yeah. Is the way it kind of works is like they're they take the payment as they go, and I think they probably get like a cut or something, I would imagine, or maybe they just get food, I don't know. But yeah, I like that idea too, that he can maybe see through them or hear or like whatever. Like I don't know if he could control them per se, but
just communicate with them probably.
Because they're just like seagulls, and he is an albatross, so like they're also like different species. But it could be just like fishmen and fish, right? Like remember how Jinbei called in like I think they were all the whale sharks because he is a shark. I think it was whale sharks that he called in because he's one of them. But like they can call in other creatures, and have them help. So I like that. I like that a lot. Last thing to talk about, and again, I'm surprised we didn't. We may have talked about it tangentially at some point, but not directly. I'm curious what you think is up with the D initial now, because I talked about this a lot in the stream. Like because the chapter doesn't confirm this, but does it deconfirm or support or just make you think differently about like the D maybe being Davy? Because I know they say the clan for like families and stuff, but the way that like they keep saying the Davy clan and like down here there's members of the Davy clan, it's like again, you know, we know Kazuki clan and stuff, like we hear this that phrasing, but it's just hearing Rock say it, and now we know that Davy Jones is real and it's important and all that. It's making me wonder if the D could still mean Davy. And then some people might think that so where is it at? Some people might think that, you know, it'd be really, really weird to have your name be Davy Zabek or Davy Teach. But like we were talking about on stream, you know, we have Tony Chopper. And Chopper and Blackbeard were both introduced in the same arc, or like mentioned in the same arc in Drum Island. And also Devil Fruits have the same word twice. So it's kind of similar in that regard. And Blackbeard's a big Devil Fruit guy. And another thing is, you know how like it's like the Gomu no mi, like like the no is like it like connects kind of the I don't know what the right term is, but the no is in a lot of phrases because it connects the words basically. Like they say Mugiwara no Luffy, right? Like it's Straw Hat Luffy, but they put the no as like a connector. And so I guess what I was getting at is even going to the Devil Fruits, like how they're called, you know, Gomu no mi. It's like Blackbeard could be like Davy no Teach. It like that wouldn't be actually how you say it because that's like kind of his government name, but that's how you could kind of say it, and it's almost like it's like the Devil Fruit name again, right? Davy no. It's like it's like Davy no me, but it's just not me. It's Teach instead. So I don't know. Again, I don't think it confirms it or anything, but I do think it's interesting to think about the D now in this context because also one more thing, going back to what we were talking about earlier, like. Is Joy Boy Davy or not? Is the idea that like people are misunderstanding the same person? Like some people call him Davy because they like the evil version. Some people say Joy Boy because like they know he's a good guy. Like, but it's the same person, just different stories on the same guy. I would like it if that was the case because, or if the D was Davy still, because then I think the idea is like. Some people have Davy as their like last name or like first name in Japanese. You know what I mean? It's the first one they say, but last name. Yeah. Some people have Davy as their actual last name, which means they're related, but those people maybe don't, you know, do things the right way. And then maybe there's all these people with the initial D, which is still Davy, but it's different because they adopted that because they are like looking at the other, like the real version of him or whatever, right? So like if you have Davy as your last name and you're related, you may not be like him, but if you inherited that initial, then it's like you understood how inherited will really works. Like you don't have to be related to like carry after all these things. You don't even have to know him, right? Because think about Luffy, he became Sun God Nika without knowing Nika even existed. So like you don't have to know these people to be like them, and I think that's what the D initial is saying, is like you don't have to be related, you don't even have to know them, you just need to inherit the will, and you can bring a storm as Davy did or whatever. But then when you have it as your last name, it's like you know it because your family's probably passing it down and telling you like, yeah, like you're Davy whatever because we're related to Davy Jones, this badass pirate who was doing XYZ. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what the answer is, but what do you think?
So right now, like just as of this moment, as we're chatting, I'm kind of leaning towards the D is more of a symbol than a name itself. And maybe I'm misremembering something that was said earlier in the story that completely debunks that. Like if somebody said the D is a name, or if it's just the D clan that we got to refer to, because now we're hearing the Davy clan, and a part of me wonders if the D is for Davy, and at some point, the D itself just became a symbol because it's all about inherited will. Like, you know, I don't think Luffy and Blackbeard are related by blood, but they carry the D initial because that's something that's meant to like inherit a will. Whether you're viewing it as the right way, which we assume is Luffy's, and the wrong way being Blackbeard's. And now it could very well still mean a name, but as time has gone on, I'm just kind of off the boat right now that thinks it means dawn. I think that's too easy. I think that's just a bit too easy.
I definitely agree with that, because like if it ends up being dawn, we're not going to be pumped, or I mean, I shouldn't say that. Maybe some people will, but I feel like most people are like, okay, well, we already know, like there's nothing to explain. You know, we already kind of get it. Like maybe you can tell us where it originated and stuff, but it's like the name itself, we already know, like, oh, those are the people destined to bring the dawn. That's just, it's like whatever, you know, it's not that exciting. And I also will say that if the D ends up being Davy, because I saw some people say this, I do agree that at this point, if they end up saying, well, the D is Davy, it's like, well, we just heard about Davy a bunch, so what is, like, it's like, it takes away from that excitement maybe a little bit. Like, if they said here the D stands for Davy, that would have been awesome, but now it's like, well, now if we get another Davy discussion, I don't know if it'll hit. But going back to your point is like, has the D ever been like said to be like a name or whatever? This is as close as we get, I think. I mean, they do say the D clan a lot, which again, going to like the Davy clan, that's usually how like families are said, but also groups. It doesn't necessarily mean they're like blood related, but it definitely means like a defined group. So it feels like it's a name. It could be a symbol though. But they do say here that D is the moniker of our ancient enemy, and moniker is like name. It doesn't have to mean like legal name, but it's like that's what we call them. You know what I mean? So that is kind of saying it's a name, but it's more so saying
okay.
But it's more so saying that's the name we call them, not that D is their name or something. But it's pretty. I feel like it is going to end up being something, because I know people say it's the half moon, the sun rising, stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree. I am still leaning towards it being a name. I'm just also kind of like big on the whole symbolism of it, because it's it being more than just the name itself. Because, and it's like damn it, Oda, why did you have to go with Davy D Zebek now? Because now I'm just like, Davy is already this hush hush thing that we have to keep quiet about, and it's like, what the hell does the D itself mean then? Because that's already super hush hush. And like, you know, that's it's so important that's Law's goal. Like, I think some people forget that, you know, that's technically Law's dream now, is to find out the meaning of the D. I'm gonna lean towards it not being Davy right now, and not even Dawn, because I just feel like that's too easy. It's too easy. And it could very well, like, when we get the lore of it, it probably won't even be anything too grand in terms of the name itself, but what the name represents in the history of the world. Like how earlier I was saying that, like right now, I think Davy Jones and Joy Boy are the same person, but he got talked about into this mythos of being Joy Boy, because no one ever knew his name. So I'm wondering if it's gonna be something like that with the D, where the rest of the name is lost to time, but the D itself like became a symbol, and you know that's what's like the biggest key now about inherited will.
I would like that if like they don't even remember the name. But then I also think if the D clan started back in the Void Century, then I almost would say, like, you know, we like Zunisha lived through that, so then I almost think like Zunisha would have to know what it. So yeah, I mean, it could be a symbol. Like I don't want to close the door on that, because I get why people say it, but
I do think we're getting a name. Don't get me wrong. I do think we're getting a name. I'm just saying, like, as time went on, it ended up becoming a symbol.
Or like what I like. Again, if it is Davy, like, it would just make so much sense that they shortened it, because it's like, well, we can't go around saying Davy, but then again, you would also think the government would know that and just start hunting all the people with D's in their name immediately. But then again, if having the D initial doesn't mean that you're related to Davy directly, but just that you adopted his will, like, or your family did, like maybe, like, you know, in the monkey family, maybe somebody knew Joy Boy way back when and is like, all right, well, I'll put the D in my name, like, I'll adopt it. Because I think that's another thing, is like, if you're related to Davy, then it's really easy to have Davy in your name, because that's usually how it works. But if you met him and you wanted to inherit that will, like, how do you show that? Well, you couldn't change. You could change your name to Dave, like Davy Luffy, like if if Luffy really wanted to. But that's way harder to do. That's just not. I feel like that's like a little bit less realistic. But making it your middle name, like adding a middle initial, I feel like that's like a lot easier to just slip in and be like, all right, well, you know, like maybe a monkey family member back in the day who met Davy Jones. It's like, well, I believe in what you're doing, and I want my family to work with you whenever you do come back in the future, because maybe he had a similar thing where kind of like Rox is like, well, I'll be back right here. It's like maybe Joy Boy said the same thing, because we know there's like a prophecy. So maybe if Joy Boy is Davy, it's like some people were like, well, I'm going to put the D in my name so my family works with you later, like, because it's like I want them to inherit the will also, kind of thing. But again, it would be really weird. I feel like if Blackbeard is Davy, but it could just be again that maybe his family put the D initial. Well, there was already Rox D Zebek, so the Davy family would have already put the D in. So maybe at some point the Davy family just had kids with somebody who had the initial, and so that's how you got the Davy. Is like that wasn't originally the plan. You know, but then it just kind of happened where like a Davy literal member married a D clan member, which
it's bro. We're over here like racking our brains around a freaking letter, a goddamn letter. The name Davy. Like, hey, shout out to my dog. I got a dog named Davy, so I'm glad Oda went with the Davy D's the back route.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. My dog's name is Davy Jones. I call him Davy for short, but it's Davy Jones.
Yeah, is he around?
No, he's not here. He's at my parents' place right now. But I'll send a picture of him later.
All right, yeah. We might need the dog tax for the stream. So yeah, no, we'll do that. We'll do that. That's but yeah, the D clan stuff, man, it's tough. Like, I don't know what else it would be. You know, that's like people say like drum, and like, yeah, I feel a little bit like Dawn, like I do with drum, where it's like we just had the drums of liberation, you know? So it's like, I don't know if that really would get me as excited as a lot of other things. Like, it's kind of like the One Piece and stuff. Like, Oda kind of needs to nail it. And I feel like Davy could still work, because now if we're going to learn that Davy's this important person, maybe being Joy Boy, it's like, okay, there's a whole story there. It's not as exciting, because now we're learning... I'm kind of Davy, I don't know, lineage members, but
I'm kind of thinking about what you said about not being a Davy but taking the name of the D. I'm kind of like wondering if it's a situation where the D is from Davy, but like how you said, you're just taking the D initial as showing like where you stand, or like in a way of like you inherited a will, and in the modern day of the world government, like say your name is Davy, then all right, that's just an immediate red flag, and we have to get rid of you. But whereas if you have the D initial, it's kind of like, I'm wondering if the world government, they're kind of playing it by ear, because, you know, we have a Garp, a Jaguar D Saul, who were working for the world government, and, you know, they kind of didn't really worry too much about it, because as far as like from their perspective, okay, you work for us, so we're not gonna worry about it too much, but once you step out of line, that's when we're gonna like take care of you. Just because you have the D initial, even if you're not Davy, we'll let the D part slide, depending on where you stand. And I'm wondering if that's kind of how they look at it now.
Yeah, because we know that they kind of like believe in like sins of the father, basically. Because like, remember how like they went after Ace because of Roger? Like they think that like, oh well, the kid might end up like, you know, that person. Or there's also maybe other layers to it, like, you know, if you go after Roger's kid, it's going to send a message to the other pirates like, well, if you know, even if you get away from us, like, we're going to go after your children, so don't do it because you're endangering your family. Like, there's a lot of stuff there that they're aiming for, but in general, they obviously care more about when you're directly related to it. But like think about that, like, they're going after Ace when Ace doesn't even like Roger. He doesn't even want the same things as Roger. Like, he wants Whitebeard to be Pirate King. He doesn't want to be Pirate King himself. So he's way different than Roger, but they went after him anyway. They didn't care. But then Luffy's over there wanting to go be the Pirate King, trying to go get the One Piece, has the straw hat like Roger, is also has the same second secret dream as Roger that we don't even know about yet. So the government probably doesn't know either. But the point I'm making is just like, they care more that you're blood related to the person than if you are literally doing everything you can in every fiber of your being to be that person. So I think the D is kind of the same example. Like, they're going to go after all the people blood related to him because that's what they've been doing. But if you inherited the D initial, it's like they don't take you as seriously almost.
I agree. So something I just thought of as you said that is because it's all behind what the name does for people. So, and what I'm thinking now is it's all about what the name does. So you mentioned Ace. If he was running around calling himself Goldie Ace, it would have been a lot more trouble for him a lot early on. They weren't. Roger was a pirate, but it didn't become okay. We have to get rid of Roger immediately. Now it didn't become a priority until after he found the One Piece. And then now it was like, okay, anybody associated with Roger by blood has to go. And that seems like what's happening now with us getting the reveal of the Davy clan, where it's anybody with the name, you have to go. Even if you're not the person that caused the person with the name that caused the big commotion, if you have the name, you have to go now, because I think it's a big emphasis on what the name carries and how it influences others to act in a way that works in the interest against the world government. Because oh my God, I was going somewhere with this. I'm about to lose it. So yeah, Davy Clan. I was going somewhere with this. So like how you said Luffy is out here wanting to be Pirate King and all that stuff, yada yada. But the thing with Luffy's name is it's Monkey D. Luffy. There's no grand figure out there called, the closest is Garp, but that's like the hero of the Marines. That's something that helps their agenda. Whereas we're getting into all this stuff now with the D Clan about like this name that's been erased from history potentially. Hero, look, that's what I was getting at. He was like, when is a man forgotten? When does a man die? When they're forgotten. And that's been the whole world government's thing, where it's, if you have the name, we're trying to just get rid of you. And then once we get rid of everybody with that name, the person themselves will eventually die. And yeah, so when you were saying that just like clicked in my head about it's the power of a name, because a name is enough in the world government's eyes. From how I'm looking at it, just a name enough is to get someone motivated.
Yeah, no, I agree, because it's like Nika, right? Like they wanted to take out everyone who was even talking about him, who remembered him, and then by the end of it, if you're able to do that, and so Nika is dead in that sense, where he can never come back because everyone has forgotten him completely. So unless someone serendipitously comes up with the same exact ideas and whatever, like, which is like pretty much impossible, then he's never going to come back, right? That's the whole point. And so I think it's the same thing with Davy, where like as long as people like know of him, because like the Davy lineage, yes, it's the name, so a lot of people are going to look at that kind of like you're saying and like think of Davy Jones right away, and like it's like he's living forever because people are carrying on that name. But then if you make it just D, then I think that might be what people in the back, like way back then, were thinking, because like not only do they not want to literally change their name, like from what like instead of making it Davy Luffy, it's like, well, I can just keep my name but just put a D in the middle and they won't even know what it means. But I will know, and like maybe in the future when this gets revealed to them, it'll click for them, like, oh wait, Davy, like why am I like what's this, why am I tied to Davy? What's my family got to do with that? And like somehow that'll lead them to realize like, well, I should probably support that, right? Like I should probably join. If there's a guy that if I meet an important Davy person, and apparently this secret middle name I have that I didn't know about was Davy, then that's telling me there's something here that I should be paying attention to. So it's like a signal to the future, like, hey, you should help this person, right? It's like, even if you don't know. So like they gotta, I don't know how that's gonna get like revealed at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah, all answers are at Lab Tail at this point, man. All answers are at Lab Tail.
Which is true. That is true. Well, hey, man, I think we've reached the end. We got 2.5 hours here. I don't know how long the video will actually end up being. Actually, you know what? I lied. We got one more thing. I'm sorry. I just wanted. This might be like
you're good. You're good.
This might be 2 seconds. Sorry for the pump fake, everybody.
No, you're good.
Do you have any thoughts on this clan war trophy? I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's pretty straightforward, but I've heard a lot of theories on it, so I'm just curious what you think about this clan war trophy.
About the trophy itself?
Yeah, well, like Gunk or the Manmeyer person's like, Gunka, with you here, we might just take home the clan war trophy. And so,
okay.
And like, what is the trophy, or like, what do you think that's implying?
I'm gonna assume just right now that it's Shocky, and that every time they hold these little events, there's always a different trophy. It's just that this time it happens to be Shocky.
I agree. I've seen some people saying that this might be like a subsection of the games. Like there might be a clan war part. Like overall, this is like the cleansing competition, but maybe there's a clan war element to it where there's like a separate prize or something. And so she's like, well, hey, I got Gunko here, so maybe maybe for example, there's an individual winner for the whole thing, but then maybe they also round up the clan points and go by families. It's like, so the overall winner gets the main trophy, but maybe there's another trophy for whatever family gets the most.
Okay.
But I think you're right though. I think the clan war is just the cleansing because they're all competing against each other already, and it's like whatever person wins, that family will enjoy the spoils, right? I mean, they're fruits, so maybe not. But if there's like money or something, they would. But so I agree. I think when they say the clan war trophy, the clan war is the cleansing, the trophy's the top prize, which is Shaki, and that's all they're saying is that Gunko must be powerful, which is why she's saying, like, with you here, we might win. Because it's like... Yeah. Maybe Gunko might be stronger than some of the other number 2s in the other families or something.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. There was a lot of theories on that. And also, I think the reason why they call it a trophy and like why they're treating it this way is because and this also goes back to why the Gorosei kind of pushed back on Garling for when he was kind of pushing them to do the cleansing sooner. And they're like, well, we just had one. Like, we can't do another one this quick. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they kind of told him, like, we got to wait, 2 more years.
He was like being greedy or something like that.
Yeah, they said, you're impatient. The previous competition just ended. And so I think that basically this whole thing is like the World Cup to them, more or less, and that's why they do it every 3 years. It's like World Cups every 4 years. It's just you want to have the space for. It makes it feel a little more special when it comes around, and it's like a bigger deal. Then you get to reign supreme for 3 years as like the winner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bragging rights.
So I think it's the same thing for them. That's why they call it a trophy. That's like, this is all just a game, and like they want, like, they're not even thinking about the lives, man. They're just.
Oh yeah,
they just want bragging rights, like you said.
It's all about having fun for them.
Yeah, which is wild, absolutely wild. But
yeah, they gotta go.
but Edenz, thank you for doing this, bro. Hopefully we get some more content from you soon, my friend. Over on your channel, of course. We're ready for it. Anything you'd like to say to the people before we head out?
Honestly, nah. I mean, I'm saying nah, but here I am about to start yapping. Yeah, nah. I'm just like really happy to be on here talking about One Piece with the bro Dak Sake. It's always a good time. I'm glad we finally got to like record one of these because there's plenty of times where we're just like yapping about different ideas that we're having off the latest chapters. And yeah, nah, this is one of those stretches in One Piece where I'm getting so many ideas where I just want to have some excuse to talk about something that's going on right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I feel you 100%. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for your time. Thank you everyone for watching. By the way, Edenz will be back. Now we've got Edenz in the pool. That's how it kind of works. Once you get in once, then you have to keep coming back because then I start getting some comments that are like, "Where's Edenz at? I haven't seen a video on Eden's channel. Can you get him back?" I get that. Like for Sai, I definitely get that. I get that for everybody because like it's usually like a month in between or 2 months in between. So we'll bring you back. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
But all right, y'all. We're heading out, but have a good night or good day or whatever time it is, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.